Portfolio, he got more than portfolio, so I don't know what you're talking about. He got everybody reporting to him. He does not have a portfolio, really. Give me, okay, let me, um, every minister is answerable to the man. You see, he has no portfolio. What is that? Hey, Mark, thank you for coming on. I'm looking for Ruth. Ruth, I don't see you. So I'm going to go ahead and get, I think Dashik. Somebody. Hi.
Hi,
Hi, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good.
Welcome to Second Thought. What is your thought about what is happening in the press? Ruth, I will try you again. What is happening in the press? Let me just say this. According to our Constitution, Article 20, you are not supposed to seize, close, deprive anyone of their liberty or security unless you've been to court and there's a judgment. Even at that, you are supposed to give the person an opportunity for appeal, okay? And they have right to that. What do you think is happening? And let me go back because we hear every day that the court, the docket is too long, things cannot happen, even with the rape cases, even with other things that are going on, corruption cases, in other investigations. Like we just saw a month ago, a little girl was raped, okay? Up to today's date, we're not sure what is going on. We are behind in advocating. You had a librarian lady who left from Minnesota, went to go finish her house, okay, and she got killed. The first thing is the police wanted money for all they needed paperwork, they needed gas money, they wanted this, they wanted that. How does that work? Abraham, give me 1 second. You can call in. So you tell me what was the urgent besides closing the organization? A news company is an independent organization, okay? And the employees even arrested them. Number one, that is a breach, okay? So talk to me. It does not matter where your take is.
Well, first, I just got back from Liberia. I was in Liberia just a few weeks ago. So,
Hmm.
there's a lot of things that, especially in regards to the whole FPA thing. In Liberia, when I came back, I was on the Fadiga show. I said there's laws in Liberia, but it's not being implemented. It's only based on how much influence you have. That's how things are done. So there are cases that will take forever. There are cases that will just go and happen. And that was the mistake they made because if you summon somebody, there's a deadline, there's a timeline.
Correct.
So
Hmm.
the mistake they made, and they don't want to acknowledge, is like there was a timeline, everything was clear put, but then it just ran like you want to do something as fast as possible because you had that influence. So why did they? Anybody look at it was completely wrong. They shouldn't have done it under no circumstances. So it's completely wrong. Everybody know that. But because we all know how sedition behave, they will try to spin everything around to make it look like no, 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 this is not what we intend to do. But we all know it's wrong. We all saw the paper, we saw the date, we saw everything on it, so we all know it's wrong. That's something that is like the laws there, but again, because they don't know, I'm pretty sure the person that issued that order was not even paying attention. All you know is our sense because they have the influence. Say, hey, let's just go shut them down, and that's how they went there. So we all know that was wrong. I'm pretty sure they're trying to figure out a way how to fix it. Well, again, we don't know what's going to happen. But like I said, there's laws in Liberia is not implemented. If you don't have that influence, you don't have that connection, and you have some issue with it, just forget it because it will take forever. I was there. And one thing that made me the call was in regards to the Charles Bright conversation you had with the previous gentleman talking about as far as being a prime minister versus minister of our portfolio. Now, even though George Weah did not verbally say he's a prime minister, but based on his function, because it's later in the paper, based on what he's going to be doing, he's technically next to the president. So if you can't have two presidents, so technically if you can have two presidents, next person you have to give a title. So any some person would just say that he's the prime minister because he can go to any ministry, make decisions, sit in meetings. Nobody can do that beside the president. Like we all know that. Now, if you want to be technical, I could argue say, you know what? he's not a prime minister. Yeah, technically he's not, because but if you look at his functions, you can
His
also
functions.
say he
His
is a prime
functions.
minister.
Yes.
That's the thin line that he's drawing there. So I can come up if I'm a suggestion. He's not a prime minister. I can argue up and down, but the reality, if you really look at his function, he is serving as a prime minister, even though.
Come on, come on. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on with your system in the back. Tell the people to stop calling you. So I can you can finish your thought. I got a few people in line. Guys, tonight we're gonna do exactly 2 hours, and that's that. Okay. We have to learn to manage our time. Okay. Oh, they don't want press people there. So just stay on the side. Yeah, we love you on this side. Mm. I the one who says so. Hi, it's good hearing from you. Okay, that just left. Ruth, I'm gonna bring you on. Ruth, you were just here, and this gentleman here, I don't know his name. I tried to bring him on, but he's not there. So, uh, Jeremiah Moba, Jeremiah, thank you. Ruth, you were just here. Somehow, I see one person here, and somehow he did not go. Okay, so. Okay, Ruth, okay, hold on. Okay, you can come on later. Okay. Okay, enough. Thank you so much. Everyone, I'm here. You can debate whatever you want to debate. According to the job description or Mr. Bright, okay, I can infer exactly what I inferred, okay, that he is the Prime Minister of Liberia. Hi, Walkie. Thank you so much for logging in. Okay, please, appreciate you sharing the video. You have a city mayor who is a foot soldier and a mouthpiece, a militant. I watched him during the election. This is the dude, I still have the recording, who said blood were going to be in the street of Monrovia. It's so and so did not happen. And the next day or 2 days later, you have to go back and change those words because when they saw the green light, okay, this guy gets on the news and threaten an agency because they did not agree with them. All right, he did. He did. Threatening an agency. A day later or two, you shut down the place, arrested all of the people that work there who are employee of the place. They're independent. It is not the organization. That's an abuse of power. This is exactly how we started. This is exactly how we started in 1980. After killing all of those people, Joel, this is exactly how we started. We started hunting down people that were opinionated. I remember them going to LU, okay? Literally, my brother survived that place where I think a broken foot, okay? People died, all right? People died. And we all looked the other way. And people like some of us on this that are talking now. Hi, Thomas. You're up. Thank you for coming on. All right. We look away because we wanted to be part of the clique, because we wanted to compromise our integrity, because we are not, according to this constitution that I'm looking at, no agency can be created without the lawmaker, without a legislator being a part or approving it. That's what it says. So you can do this article, that's 75. I'm talking about 86 after the amendment is here, okay? And I will write them out later to you. So we are having a debate. Hi, Chief. Oops, guys, sorry. Hi, Chief. Thank you. I just saw you come on. Welcome. If you would like, you can make a contribution. Okay. So we have problem finding somebody who killed, somebody who went to Liberia to invest. The police cannot afford to buy gas. The police cannot afford paper. But the police can get up in the middle of the morning, the moment Jefferson Koji threatened an organization. Hi, Amos. Thank you so much. Shut it down, arrest the people. According to Article 20 of our Constitution, that is unconstitutional. You know, Josh.
Iberian payroll system that they operate off of, and then they had the one that they showed to the international community that that's what they did. So they were in speculation to have a corruptive system going on how they pay the local people. Continue to have deaths on these farms, on these plantations. The labor laws. Our children continue to go on these plantations and work and get victimized, get beaten to a point of near death.
Some killed, yeah.
No one's talking about this stuff. Our government signing 63-year and deals. 63-year. Meanwhile, they are leaving a lot of people to become homeless because then they're just going in these lands and taking people, the local people's lands from them.
Hold on 1 second, and Decanty, listen, I hear people getting to the Unity Party, and Josh Weah is a peaceful person. All of those concession deals were signed by the legislators. They have to sign it. They have to sign it. So people learn and know your constitution. They are all a part. You cannot separate them in one term, and the next term you separate them in the other term. The last I checked all day today, people said, oh, there's a separation of power. There's a balance of power. Now you're telling me on here that it's all Ellen Johnson silly.
Thank you, Peter. Peter got one of the information up. Golden Valerium.
Great job, team. A very great job.
The other is Semi SEMI Darby. So Peter, look it up. Semi Darby Plantation. And that's where this young man. Okay. That's where this young man by the name of John Davis, you can hear the little boy crying in this video. They're beating this boy, you know, crying because he stole one head of palm nut. The same boy worked on this plantation, and he says in the video, 2 weeks, he hasn't taken pay. So these companies are making what, 18.6 billion a year out of our country. They are using the local people, taking their lands, not paying them, which is all back to people being exploited. We have, and to break it down even further.
Hold on for me 1 second, mommy. Mr. Dapper, after Decanty, I'll bring you on, and I think another person, Joel, I will bring you on. Rose, I will bring you on. So go ahead, Decanty, and I will bring her back before closure because we have a lot more information. Because I wanted to get facts. That's what when I'm talking, I bring my constitution. I already posted the last time. Make sure everybody gets a copy of the 1986 copy because there's an amendment there, so you can have the whole thing on your hand. But go ahead, mommy.
Okay. I say this to like I started, the way I started was I am just a civil citizen. We all have rights to research things that we're not okay with. Go look it up. I encourage everyone to be that way. I am that way. I don't take anyone's word for it. Don't take my word for what I told you tonight. Go research yourself and see. Do your own research and find out what is going on in our government, what is going on in our country. To tie it into how politics is tied into this, we have senators. These senators know about these deals that are being counties. Our senators know about these deals. They collect the money. The poor people never see a dime of this money. We got a 63-year contract, for God's sake. And it was just signed in 2009. You know how many years we got to go? That we're going to have to, if we don't do anything, that we're going to have to live with the inhumane treatment. People are going to not benefit. Why you will make 18.6 billion, but give me $5.50 a day when I have children to go home and feed? This is what we're up against. Let's bring it down to how this affects all of us. And to tie even further into government, if we don't have free presses like Front Page Africa to report these things, people would never find out. So I am highly, highly, highly against any form of government that comes to censor freedom of speech. Now, I know we're speculating the past 2 days. People say, oh, we did it, we didn't do it. But here's my thing. If this was a civil suit, they had no right to shut the whole establishment down and arrest the employees. And it sounds like something personal behind it. A civil suit supposed to be taken to court. Take me to court. I am the owner. Let me come and answer for my business. Don't arrest my employees. I've never seen that happen, except if they were all involved in some kind of illegal gang, then you understand. But if they were not, right, these were just employees working. There should have been no reason why that should have even happened. But when we stand and do nothing, and we watch freedom of speech start to be censored, things like this will never be known. Our people will continue to perish. Young men like John Davis will continue to suffer. There are no child labor laws in place in Liberia that are executed. Our children are being taken advantage of. Children work like dogs. Children work like they're in the same field with adults, having to compete with adults. Our children are not even done growing yet, but we're forcing them on farms, on fields, in plantations to go work. And then on top of that, these children are dehumanized. These children are victimized. I sit here and I have tears in my eyes. I'm trying not to cry because the video today says, yeah, that video was, oh my God. This young man was brutalized. This young man was beaten. This young kid was victimized today, all because he stole one head of palm nut branch. And the boy said, I simply wanted to go eat. Well, if you're paying that small labor $5.50 a day, not even knowing that he got to take money home to his family. Then on top of that, 2 weeks now, you haven't paid the young man, but you expect him to not steal from you. And what did he steal that was that much? Again, we don't have laws that protect our citizens. We have laws that are made to protect big businesses. For businesses like Golden Valorium and Simi Plantation, Darby Plantation, to just come and take lands from people, and no one talks about this, to come and have inhumane working conditions. The same company posts there on their website that they have the, I don't know what they call it, the human. I will tell you just now, like I said, I did my research and I wanted to get the information across to people. They said they have the human slavery, modern slavery and labor laws that they have written that they're in compliance of. Well, if you ask me, paying someone $5.50, I think that might be a form of slavery, because they cannot survive on that kind of income in Liberia. But this is what they pay. They said they have these laws that they're supposed to abide by. And more so over, there's a whistleblower company, but I'm a little suspectful of this company because the company is tied to them. I will give you the name of the company in a minute. But this is where you can take your complaints to. This is the board is called RSPO, and it's called the Round Table. What is it? Round Table. Y'all give me a minute, I'll find it. But this is where you're supposed to take complaints. Again, I'm leery because the website is tied to this company. Y'all give me 1 minute. But my people, we cannot continue to sit.
I'm sorry, Decanty. Just give me a second because I'm about to. I think my shoulder hurts. That's just too much. Just
too much going on, and we don't know. Common Liberians don't know, and those who don't have access to information like we do, they're trolling all over the people's rights. You know, our senators collecting money and putting it in their pockets.
The funny thing is, and Decanty, all these that you're talking about, people, children, and their family, and that's why I was saying to the gentleman earlier. When things have not hit our doors, we don't give a fig about each other. This is how we got to the war in the first place. I see people just here popping. We are not involved. We are is innocent. Nobody talking about we are here. We're talking about the livelihood of Liberia and Liberia's future. Nobody is talking about we are at this time. Okay, what we're talking about funny means. How can we are? You're talking about we are where it's about to sign. It's 22-year deal. of a country that for the last 4 years are in a deficit, okay? And will be paying back billions. How is that going to happen? They have no plan. Nobody talking
That
about
we don't benefit from.
we are not going to
You
benefit.
pay me $5.50 a day, but you expect me to pay billions.
We're trying to bring you to a place. If you're here to listen, at least pass the information on. If you do not want to listen, we want to come to a place where our people understand. At least they can tell their children, don't go looking for job here. That we can come together as a community. Ellie did not sign any contract unilaterally. She can't. She just can't. Okay?
The Senate had to do it with her.
Thank you. I mean, I need some something to kind of calm me down, because the stupidity is just too much. And I'm sorry, no disrespect, but to just sit here, everything is weird. Do you not have anything at all to do? We're talking about.
We got to look past we are. This has been going on long before we are.
Exactly.
So this is more than we are. The same people who've been in government still there. We are just a new head, but everything else hasn't really changed.
Thank you.
Everything else haven't really changed. The same crooks are there.
I'm finished up, and there are a lot of people in line.
Let me round it up so some other people can come on.
Stand by, because I need you to come on. I want to get Mr. Dapo on here, but finish your talk.
Okay.
Because I want.
Let me round it up.
Mm-hmm.
So the whistleblower company is called the Round Table for Sustainable Palm Oil. That's supposed to be this objective whistleblower company that we can take our concerns to.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I need to research further because I'm not very pleased. This company is this round table is tied to these companies that I mentioned. So who knows if this is a lobbying company, a lobbyist organization that's supposed to get these complaints and what they would do with it.
Right.
But I want us to be vocal and be with the world. All these companies have major stocks, okay?
Yes.
They buy into major stocks. When you go on to Bloomberg.com, these companies are listed. So all this money they're making from Liberia, they bring it out here. Our people don't see not one running water, no house with toilet. Their children don't get educated. They give them $5.50 a day and a bag of rice. They go home. But they bring their billions back to the West, the major countries, okay? While we sit and our senators sign away, they just sign away our land, sign away, sign away. I went further. Y'all help me if I'm wrong, correct me. But I went to look at who our senators are for these counties. And on the website, our Liberian website, the government website, it says that Grand Cape County right now, the senators are Abel Momo Masale and Edward G. I think it's called Dagose or Dogose. Y'all help me. Dagoseh. For Grand Cape, and this is Simi Darby Company, okay? The other county that they're in is Beaumont. And for Beaumont, our senators are Lahi or Lahai Lansana and Sando D. Johnson. So these senators, in one way or the other, are tied or connected into these deals because I think it said they've been in a seat since 2006, okay? They're connected to these billion-dollar deals that were made that not only displaced people, but people are being treated inhumanely right now. So these senators are attached to these deals, okay? Y'all go question these senators. And then for the GVL company, in Grand Crew, we have Cletus Watterson.
Cletus Watterson. He been there a long time too. Yes.
Okay. And Peter S. Coleman, okay? That's in Grand Crew County. And in Sano County, we have Mobutu Nimpa and Joseph N. Nangwe.
Yeah, Nangwe, yeah.
These Yes. Did you hear the last one?
Yeah. Try again.
Again, these senators been in position since 2006, 2007, you know, those years. And these companies just signed deals in 2009 and 2000. It is time for us to question them Your way, I got something popping in. It is time for us to question them. It is time for us to speak.
Hold on 1 second. Layden, any member of Layden, check the chat room. Peter wants something, and please ask any of you. Please do go ahead there.
So I will round up and stay by so other people can come in. But I'm saying that these senators that I mentioned, they know about.
Okay. All right. Good.
They know about deals. They know about the inhumane treatment that is being given to our people. People are dying. That Mr. Colley, I keep getting an interruption. I'm sorry, my people. Odisa Colley did not have to die on that plantation from inhumane treatment. John Davis did not have to be beaten to near death on the other plantation. But our senators take the money and they pocket it, and our citizens perish. I wanted to highlight that tonight, sis. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank you the whole team that did that work. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ted. Thank you. We got serious work to do. Here it is. I think we have to do this together. When we let's complete the research, make sure we have all the information there. Contact
ample research out there.
Yeah.
We need to dig.
Yeah, we need to dig more, get the information. When you get those information, please download it. Don't leave it there. Because I remember.
Oh, I have all the links.
Yes.
I got all the links.
Okay.
I copied everything down to their phone numbers.
Download it to a state, because here's what happened during Ebola. CoreGenX, who were the owner and had patent to Ebola at that time, they shut down their website. They said they were updating, or they had some technical problem. When it came out, they deleted most of the content that were on there. Even a award that they've won from the NHR, all of that, they deleted all of that. But for me, luckily for me, I had downloaded everything because I was doing research on there at that time. Never knew Ebola was coming. It was just for school then. So anytime somebody pour information, especially of that important, I will tell you, download it, make sure you have it, and you can go ahead and pull it. Team, great job, Deb. Great job.
Thank you, sister. I will stay watching so you can bring someone else, okay?
Okay.
But I just wanted to highlight that tonight. Now what people know what's up.
Somebody has a question and you can answer those. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
All right. And Jay Dapo, I'll bring you in. Then Prince, I'll bring you in. Mr. Dapo, I'm bringing you in. Liberia is not going down. We just have to steer our government in the right, especially leaders in the right direction. If they are going other ways, we have right to let them go other places. Sonia, you're coming under, but that's fine. So just go ahead, Mr. Dapo. Welcome to Second Thought Liberia. It is an honor to have you. Thank you for what you do.
You're welcome. Can you hear me loud and clear?
You're very clear. Yes, sir.
Okay. I think if you can hear me, then everyone else can hear me.
That is correct.
You know, I don't know how to start my story, but I just have to tell you some kind of way. I left Liberia right after high school. And what I saw there is something that when I came over here, I planned that I have to do my part before I go home. And I have been so searching to find a brand of people who I can work with to start to effect changes. Because changes must have a benchmark in order to move forward. We must have a reference point. I mean, everything that the lady has said, like you guys said, it is not from President Weah. No. It is from the 1847 first administration we had to ever set the benchmark.
Yes.
But over time, we haven't been able to do program evaluation, policy evaluation to determine how can we move things forward. And that taught me two things. Out of the people who went there, they didn't care for the country and they just wanted to get what they want for themselves, or they did not know what to do.
They didn't understand. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, the positive here. I was a kid when people were making policy for me. Did that policy realize? No. My dream came through the United States. Nevertheless, we can still make things happen back home. Let's say, for example, everything we say here, Ellen for 12 years did not do her part. let's just give Elena negative. What about this administration?
Yes.
You know, when I told my fellow sedition that this J. Rennie Dapo you're playing with would be one of the mayor, every Liberian will remember it's because when you buy a package, you must read that label that comes with that package. Whether it's a computer, whether it's a cell phone, don't just take that package and walk away with it, because whatever is in that package will come after you, and that's me. I stood here for some time. I ran the CDC platform. I defended the CDC platform. But there's one thing between expectation and perception. When I saw during the campaign, I called my fellow physician, told them that if we want to change things, we must be able to be the change. I suggested that we should start in July to have a previous, and no, it was the pre-campaign, post-campaign, and the presidential inauguration. The reason was I wanted to make sure that we vet the proper people. But that fell on deaf ground, and I knew something was not going to be right. Because I'm an engineer, but I'm a policy analyst and I can see things. So all I said to them was, if you guys don't do it, you will have a serious problem down the road. Here's the 100 days we are. We haven't seen things. Now, after the whole thing, when I start to see some of the old players coming back in the game, I begin very worried. I begin worried like what we call in the corporate world the scorecard of the particular individual, not company now, but the individual we know.
Yes.
We know their scorecards and they are coming back.
Yes.
What difference is that going to make? It's not going to make any difference. I'll give it a little try again, thinking that we're going to work. So what I did was I said, okay, the CDC party is the only party that I know in my life. Since I can't leave, I will have to constructively try to put things out there. I don't care you CDC and you listen to me here. I don't care. But the truth must be told. The truth must be told because I stood for something that I believe in. And because when I first became member of the CDC, professional people told me, say, you know what you're getting into? And my response was, not everybody going to make the right turn. I'm going to make the left turn. Ellen Johnson study administration, right from where I'm sitting now. We had an interview in 2016 for me to go work for the EPA. And I told them, if you don't define the salary structure, I won't go there. And I refused that job, thinking that this particular party that I'm supporting would be very, very transparent. Have I seen it yet? No. I haven't seen it yet. So what I'm doing now is, before other people start to criticize the CDC, I want to be the one to criticize the CDC. Guess what I did? I told one of the government officials, you from the United States, this children mindset by whom is very, very damaging for us in the diaspora. You work here, it's easy for you to declare your asset. I got my 1999 tax bill of the present. Go back home, be transparent, and say, look, I'm here. This is how much I'm worth. It's not going to take anything from your skin. But when I said that, that individual came here in the presence of my family, insulted me. Nobody came back. So when I started to do my campaign about the correction, sometimes you come and see my show. One of them came out and said, why are you using CDC to criticize the CDC? He didn't even ask me to say what does that CDC stand for? But I ignored that. But I just want to let them know that this administration that brought me on board, they forgot to read the manual that came with me. And that's what I'm giving to them now. Because I want to stand for the truth. What I was expecting here was to do what we call a policy transition team. You got a policy team that will go into the administration from the Ministry of Agriculture and assess every policies and standard that are not only applicable to Liberian standard, but to the international standard. Then what we do there after that, like the sister talked about, that is total human rights abuse. What is the labor law against human rights abuse? Not only human rights, what is the occupational law that we have in our country? Because all I see in our country is, oh, the Lebanese man talking to the man wrongly, then you go and talk about. What about the process material that they work with?
No SOPs. Yes.
Okay. What is the work instruction? what does the policy say as a regard to the equipment that people are working with? These are things that I wanted to bring. And yet a sad thing here, sister. I got my website, my own partisan. I'm reaching out to them, giving them my website, explore it, giving them my Bible. The moment they see my credential, case closed, no more conversation. That's it. Bye-bye. Yalla, that's it. Then sometimes my wife look at me, she said, my husband, I just feel sorry for you. You love a country that the people don't love you. Why? Do you think that kid was in America? Where those guys coming from? You think if they were, if they had a law in their country and the way that child would be humiliated, right now their legal team will be talking to that kid legal team. But you guys are right. The equation will be balanced. Where I blame Ellie, she did not set the tune. Because I saw the letter from the New Sierra Leone president who said everyone should be to work at 8:30 and leave at 4:30. He set the tune. I partially blame Ellie for that. But the lawmaker too, this individual, I listened to one of them a few times. He telling us that we should borrow so the next generation can pay. If the road project is going to cost, if that coastal highway is only going to cost 536 million, let us look at all the infrastructure, the military hospital, the school, the other infrastructure. How are we going to atomize those different budgets? And that just for infrastructure, not to mention exactly, not to mention agriculture or security and what have you. My thing here is this current administration has a greater opportunity to make or to break. And I'm hoping that they will listen to us, not seeing us here as people who hate the CDC party. Let them see us as someone who is looking out to make sure that the 1847 rules up to the end of President Salif, as we all said, it was not correct, like Brahma would say. Let us try to set the thing right. The moment we are talking about a child who has been beaten, the department, I mean, the Ministry of Labor should immediately get on the ground and start an investigation. They should set the tune. The lawmakers should be able. Right now, I listened to Mr. Fanati Kofa this morning. He's telling me that the southeastern side, the Chinese are over there and giving our Liberian people 15,000 liberty to go and exploit our mineral resources. I said, my Lord, by the year 2030, Liberia will be empty. You know why they don't call Ghana Gold Coast this time? Because Ghana Gold have been depleted. It has been depleted. And you have the Chinese that have earmarked 3 million people to be circulated all around the world. They have seen Liberia. Guess what? They have seen a diamond line. My thing here is, whatever we can do to help our government, as long as our government is willing and open to work with us, we must be able to work with them. The reason I love the press, like I told one of them today, it's nothing for you to go after Ronnie Sear. It's Sarah Huckabee can defend Donald Trump from Monday to Friday.
Yes.
Because you know the media coming after her.
Yes.
You know the media is coming after Mr. Trump. Her job is to make sure, provide clarity every day. Whether that clarity makes sense or not, she is doing her job. How can we, with the Ministry of Information and the President office, come out every day and say, you know what Ronnie Sear is saying is totally untrue. Here is what we're doing, so that we out here can defend it. But to say, you know what, let us go do X, Y, and Z, that was absolutely wrong. So I want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. God bless you, and let us help to make Liberia prosper. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Mr. Dapper, before you go, I just want to say in clear and everyone, how you call it. My husband speak of you. He's also a structural engineer like you.
Okay.
Like you. During the Ellen government, he was given the opportunity, but they were not willing to, and he wouldn't compromise either. So we stay, and we're not looking to go home at this point. Just like I said earlier on, after the election when Mr. Weah won, I'm of the belief that you don't need to have PhD to be a good leader. You need to surround yourself with people we will hold you accountable and hold you answerable that actually care enough for you to criticize you.
Yes.
Because if they put you to criticize you privately, then nobody else have to criticize you publicly. So people like you, I see people here being derogatory. Everybody want to work for this government. You see, When we start learning to listen to voices of reasoning, maybe we'll
Yes.
make some way, we'll make some headways.
Yes.
We are talking about a young man, well, not just that young man. I'm sure there are many of those people out there, young people out there, the Firestone of the word, okay, the Metestiu, the Lamco, the Buchanan, okay, and still
Yes.
counting. All right.
I'm
This
listening
is
to
and
you.
I
I'm
will
listening
ask,
to you. Let me take care of something
yeah,
quick.
I will ask you, Tony, because and then I know they're talking to people here, they don't understand. The field that you are in is a field that most Americans do not study. It's usually foreigner. It requires a lot of thinking, math, sciences. Okay, so you can live well in America. People need to understand that. But when you
Yes.
love your people and you want to give back to your people, this is what you do. Some
Yes.
people want to go to Liberia to make a change.
Yes.
Some people want to go to Liberia. Even they don't go, at least accept the roadmap to success to a better
Yes.
Liberia. Let me just say this. There
Mm.
needs to be labor law. There
Yes.
needs to be pay grade that is posted. According to
Yes.
our constitution, those are systems we need to know. The
Yep.
country, the people in the country need to know what in the coffers of the country. When you sign
Yes.
a bill, when you're getting a loan, before the
Yes.
legislator put their print to it, the country need to know. In
Yep.
fact, that's why in our community, the mayor or the local superintendent, whoever they are, if there's
Yes.
a development that's going to be going on that will affect the environment, they have
Yep.
a town hall. We, the
Yes.
citizens, the taxpayer, we go there to either say nay or yay.
Yep.
People just don't go and sign.
That is the environmental quality division. Two things
Yes.
that is missing in Liberia right now. It is sustainability and environmental quality. All the trash they're taking, one thing they fail to realize, those trash are not being put in the dumpster. They are being put on the bare native soil. It's
Correct.
already contaminating the
Yes.
groundwater. So if you ask me, about 85% of the groundwater in Monrovia is
It's
already
contaminated.
yes, including the soil. So, like, I agree with you. We need to revamp our labor law and attach occupational safety to that,
Yes.
because that will eliminate what employees are going to be faced with. We need to focus on that. Another thing to the drugs. Right now, I'm into the regulation now of the pharmaceutical industry. How can the question I always ask my fellow Liberians: you are not a pharmacy. What gave you the right to set something that you call telemedicine on the street? Common sense. Where are they getting those prescription drugs from? We must be able to what? Create a department of regulatory and quality assurance and make sure that controlled substances like the drugs that you were talking about, that they depress children. Not every one of them, they're running up are depressed. I mean, are drugs users. Some of the people lost
Yes.
their parents. Some of the people
Yes.
experience rape. They are mentally disturbed. And the only way we can help these people is to be able to what? To help them, and, grow and understand what we're going through. So these are things that I think the National Drugs Agency needs to look at to be able to make laws so that we can at least restrict how we bring drugs into the country. Because if India is going to be sending us drugs, we should be able to send team to India to do a GMP audit of their facility. That if India, China of America is supplying with drugs, those drugs will come with a badge that will be affixed to those drugs. Then we create, either you a pharmacy, you must get a license in order to sell. If you're a doctor, you must get prescription. That will reduce the
Yes.
threshold for the proliferation. So thank you so much, and God bless you for the opportunity.
God bless you too, sir. Do what you do, and
Okay.
history will rejoice you well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
You so much. All right.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Continue.
Bye.
Okay. All right. My phone won't let you go now. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for paying attention to be a part. So I have about 16 minutes. I have a few people I'm going to call on. Some of you are on here just going off, and really, I don't think I need to acknowledge you, but I need to let you know. In Liberia, people don't qualify or don't specialize, okay? Everything goes. Where some of us travel, people specialize, even in the accounting system. even in housekeeping, okay, in the medical field, all right, in engineering, in teaching, okay. Some people teach only math, some people teach only science, okay. And even at that, even if you've been teaching it for 40 years, okay, the certain time of the year you have to get certified or retrain and have certain hours every year to stay as an active teacher, even in elementary school. All right, you have to understand that. So understanding your environment, understanding that we are all in this together. Yes, believe me, you. Do I want we are to fail? Heck no. Heaven no. But when you humble yourself, then you don't have to do anything. We have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Liberians around the world. Whether you like it or not, he was a part. Yeah, they may not say all the right words about him, and so what? He's the father. I'm sure sometimes his kids told him before, I hate you. And so what? Did he start loving them any? No, they're his children. Now that's the position he's in. He needs to reach out to his people. He needs to find people who are qualified to help him. We need to revisit some of these deals. You got somebody there, Randy, okay? And I'm sure America needs him. Environmental, structural, electrical, quality, all of these people, engineers, doctors, who are specialized, even if they can just take 6 weeks, come home and help. But you got to extend yourself because they didn't believe you. And so what? It's election. People take sides. Okay? Who cares? But our people have suffered too long. It's time to stop. I'm going to bring a few people on. And then I believe Prince were here. Thelma, I'll bring you in. Let me bring Chief Quali on. Prince, I need you to close her up. Guys, wonderful teamwork. Let me just bring Chief. You're coming on. Somehow their phone is bluffing. But next week, we'll be bringing some professionals, like real professional on the show. And we'll be dissecting our budget to see if our budget now can withstand the load that we're putting on our budget.
Okay.
And how can we fix it? So we'll be bringing open professional Liberians who understand budgetary effects, all right, in different sectors of the place, So I just want to let everybody know as of tomorrow we have the information up, so we can start sharing with you early. You can also look us up on. We have a group, a page now.
Misunderstanding him, and I still giving that open. Let's get together. Call the show. Let's get together. You want to talk? Tommy can't join the show. Come and tell the people here why is Monrovia so dirty, why the environment around the community and outside of the city is so dirty. You come and let's talk about it. Because where I am now, I'm doing something different here. I just want to be on Facebook while I'm doing my stuff. So if you want to join, please join. Call in and let's do our thing, all right? And now I will start playing my music here. Because I got some song I need to play here. I just want you guys to see what I do here during my extra time. So you'll swing by. Because I don't want to say anything for somebody who can't be cursing my mom yet. No. And just watch. I'm going to keep quiet at this. Some people can't start insulting. What the man doing? What are you trying to show? That's another test. Alright? So let's see here. What can I play here? Let me play something to entertain myself. Don't be out.
A former general from the former faction of our republic,
Tommy, I'm bringing you on.
We call people journalists.
What's up, Tommy?
Concerning
Hello.
What's going on?
Not much, man. What's going on with you?
This time I come on Facebook, I'm going to be seeing anything, or I just put my video on and be doing my work here. I won't say nothing, but somebody can be causing my mind this time now. So that is the new idea that somebody gave to me. Just go on Facebook. Don't say anything. Just leave your topic there and be doing your normal thing. Don't say nothing. Let them come and pass by. So, but I got a topic over there that say, why you think Monrovia is so dirty? Do you blame the people? Do you blame the government? I mean, what is your distribution, or what are your pointers to why Monrovia is dirty? Is it based on the current administration, challenges that it cannot remove, challenges that prove that, or showing that they cannot remove the trash? What do you make of that? I mean, I saw the video. Hey, you might just say, what's up?
Well, you and I talk offline on a daily basis, and I think you know my stance on a lot of those issues.
Okay.
You know, as we discussed last night,
Yeah.
I think one of the issues as far as the sanitation in the country
Yeah.
or the city, because I don't think it's like that outside of the city, is the place is like the city is one big marketplace.
Okay.
You know, everywhere you go is a market. There's one big marketplace. If you live it in a 1 block radius, why do you have 5 different marketplaces? You know, those
And,
the number one cause, of the dirt in the city comes from the markets.
so
So
the
if you live
the
in a 1 block radius and
uh-huh.
you have 5 different markets, like I told you, if you go, why do you have a Point 4 market? Why do you have a Douala market?
Uh-huh.
Why do you have a Nuku Town market all within 1 mile radius? You know, and I think that's one of the biggest contribution to the garbage problems in the city.
Mm-hmm.
If you go in Central Monrovia, you go on Benson Street, you go on Gurley Street, you go on Ashmore Street, you go on Carey Street. Why do you have so many individual marketplaces? You know, why can't you establish, like, you know, and I know that every time we talk about this stuff, people say that, well, you can't make the comparison. But if you can have one central marketplace in a 1 mile or 2 mile radius, if you want to buy groceries, you have that designated store to go to buy that groceries. But when you have 10 different marketplaces in a 1 block radius, and I think that's one of the biggest contributors to the garbage situation in the country, and I think that's something that needs to be addressed.
So from the marketing standpoint, do you see any blame on the marketers as part of the contribution?
Well, according to my understanding, the marketers have an association that they pay monthly dues to.
No, but what I want us to establish first is, do you see the behavior of the marketer as part of the problem with regards to the garbage accumulation? Are they part of the problem, or they are just ignorant to what happening around them? Then you can expand on that. Are you there, Tommy? Hello?
Yeah, Repeat that question. I got a call coming in. Repeat that question.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I said, do you see the marketers as part of the problem, or do you think they are just like an innocent group of children that don't know what they are doing is impacting the environment? Do you see them as folks who contribute towards how untidy the city is? Do you blame the marketeers for sure? That's what I want to know. Tommy,
Okay, man. Sorry.
you keep getting
No.
call. You keep getting call. Did you get it?
That was my daughter calling me to say good night.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah. So give me that question again. Give me that question again.
I said, do you see the marketeers as part of the problems?
I mean, as far as what? As far as personal responsibility?
As the garbage stockpile of the garbage, do you think the marketeers has a role to play in what is causing the garbage hazard in the country?
Yeah, absolutely. They have a role to play. But my issue here is, if you have a marketing association that's paying membership dues, so where do you place the blame? If I'm paying you to provide services to me, and you are not providing those services, why is the blame on me?
So you think if the marketeer were paying their dues, and those dues were being used for the right reason, there wouldn't be as much dirt in the street?
Right, but so who are we blaming here?
The discussion is about why is Monrovia and other environments so dirty. Now you came up with the marketeers as one of the source of the problem, right? That means that their action in the market, their behavior is a major contributor to the stockpile of the garbage, because their business of operation on a daily basis are the reason why we're having most of these stockpile. And if you look at the geographic of where most of these stockpile are, they are mainly around market area, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is a clear indication that they are the source of the stockpile of garbage in the country. So my question here to you is, do you see them as a major contributor to the garbage system in the country? If yes, what percentage do you give to them? And my understanding from you is you see them as some group of people who are paying their taxes through the fees they charge in every day. And do you think at that they shouldn't be held accountable?
Yeah, but if I mentioned earlier, if you are paying your association dues in your community, it is now your responsibility to clean up your own trash. So if you are making contributions to an association to be responsible for the clearing of your trash, okay, why is that blame going to be on the marketing? Because they're paying the dues, they're paying the fair dues.
So the question becomes, why are they putting the trash over there in the first place?
But you've asked me the same question 3 different times.
That's why I'm asking now. Why are they putting the trash there? That's not the third question there. That is a specific question to the behavior of the marketeers. Why are they putting the dirt on the sidewalk? Why?
Do they whoever they're paying the dues to, do they have designated areas to put this trash?
And why would create the designated area?
Say that again.
I'm trying to piggyback on every comment you made, right? You just asked, do they have a designated area? So I'm asking you, why will let me take the why from there and replace that with what. What will create the designated area? What will create that?
I think that's up to the association. The association should be able to provide a designated area for people to
Okay.
trash.
But they do have a designated area where they're doing the stockpiling, right? Because that's a designated area where they're doing the stockpiling. Now, why the marketeers, why the association is not meeting the task of removing those stockpiles as often as they should be doing?
Because obviously they are not committed to the obligation that they made to the tax collectors.
Why they are not committed? Why they are not committed?
Randy, I don't know why they're not committed. So obviously that's part of the problem. So it's about
why they're not committed? If you tell Miranda, my daughter, to do something and she doesn't want to do it, why do you think she's not doing it?
Because obviously either the people who are paying that money is not making demands for their money.
And what would trigger the demands?
If I'm paying you money to provide services to me, I'm going to demand that you provide the services to me.
Okay. The reason I'm asking the question, you building this picture, right? And the reason I'm asking you why, and the marketeer has to play their role. We have seen stockpile in the country for a very long time, Tommy. And the reason that we don't have frequency of removing the dirt is, number one, lack of proper programs to educate the people.
Right.
So the top of the pyramid there is lack of proper programs. So let's say if Ente Junior or if Mom Martha come from River G and say, I want to open business in Morovia. What kind of business? Oh, I want to do fish business. Oh, okay. Have you found a location in the city? Oh, yes, I want to go to Raleigh. What are the required program to bring Martha into that area to do business? Number one, what does she need to understand about becoming a marketeer in the country? Well, number one, she has to register. From the business standpoint, she will register, get herself a table, right? Now, what are the risks involved with what Mom Martha is going to do? She is going to start selling fish. What package does the fish come in? Sometimes it come in cardboard boxes, come in plastic wrap. How knowledgeable is Mom Martha with that dirt? What program does she need to go through to ensure that her activities will not impact the environment? All the questions will come from how marketeers should sell in a country. And this is all about what? Becoming compliance on a good housekeeping as a marketeers. Do we have those kind of standard in the country? My point here, Tommy, is these people are generating the dirt, but they don't have any awareness in the form of orientation, how to generate their dirt, where to put their dirt, how their fees they pay is important, and if the fees they are paying is not meeting their expectation, what are the necessary steps they need to take? These are fundamental lack of structure in our country that is causing the problem in the creation of all these stockpile of debt. Now, that's just one aspect of the shared responsibility, the marketeers. You bring the person, do you get oriented? Tell me, what do you think? I want you to walk me through a typical hiring process in a developed country. If I came to your business to get a job, you hire me, you do my background check, you finally offer me the job. Can you walk me through an ABC step, what I expect to do? Because remember, I come in with my own behavior, right, Tommy? To work for you. So what do you have in place to control my behavior? Walk me through that process.
Okay, because I'm trying to get a clear understanding. Me as an individual.
You had a glitch there. You had a glitch. Could you repeat? You said you're trying to do what?
I'm trying to get a clear understanding of where you're going with this, because if me,
my point here, let me just give it to you straight here. My point here is the reason the people are behaving in the way they are behaving, Tom, is because we don't have a marketing program that will bring people in. Whether it's a Korokwa program, our people are putting that in the street because there is no program from the government level that will empower the association level, that will make the association to provide compliance behavior to the people of the market. We don't have that structure. Somebody will come today and just start selling, and because they see Suzanne putting that in over there, they go and put that over there. But yet and still, you spoke about people collecting money. On what structure are they collecting that money when we still see dirt being stockpiled when that money is being collected? So I'm asking you now to explain to me, if I'm having to work for you, you hire me, you give me everything I want, what are the steps that you will allow me to go through before I actually start to do my work? What are the processes? The processes.
Okay, Randy, let's break it down. Let's break it down. Okay. Number one, I'm not in Liberia, so I don't understand.
I want us to discuss it from an advanced level. I want to discuss.
Okay, you're not allowing me to make a point.
I want us to teach this action is about teaching.
It's about teaching, but in teaching, you gotta allow me to speak.
That's what I'm saying. Apparently, you want to make it confrontational. No, I don't want to make it confrontational. I want us to make it as identifying the problems and how can we solve the problem.
Okay.
Why you think at the mall, all the different formal market? Why you think in America, the formal market, we see all the lettuce, we see all the potatoes, corn. Why these things are not stockpiling out there? Why you think? I want you to help us understand why these things are not out there.
Okay, so if you ask me a question and you allow me to speak, then we can have a dialogue.
Thomas, okay? Go ahead. I don't think you're getting what I'm trying to go, but go ahead, have your say. I will just explain to the people when you're done. Go ahead.
So wait a minute. I'm going to give you my opinion, but then you're going to go and tell me what I'm thinking or what I'm saying.
No. I said I'm going to explain my part. So you go ahead with your part.
Okay. In Liberia, as far as I know, the market people have what they call the Liberian Marketing Association. Am I right or wrong?
I believe so. Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So if I'm paying that marketing association to go and sell my dry fish in the market, or to go and sell my chicken, or to go and sell my fufu or my ground cassava leaf, if I'm paying that marketing association, okay, why is it up to me? If at the end of the market day, if I go and put my trash to where the marketing association said, put your trash, at the end of the market day, we have people who are employed to come overnight and clean that market area. And you come the next day and that market area is still not clean. Whose responsibility is that? It's the people that you are paying. So if I'm paying you, then I'm going to demand that you come and clean up my trash.
Okay. Oh, Tommy gone. All right, Tommy, you got to come back. Tommy, you need to come back. You need to come back. So, Thomas Awaji and myself, we are having this open conversation about why Morovia and the other environments is so dirty. So, Tommy, send me a request back. What I'm trying to make Tommy to understand here is for us to discuss. Let me bring him back so that way he can get the point here. All right. All right. I see. All right. I see. Okay, Tommy, someone just came in. So, do you want me to, you my special guest? So I want to bring that person in. Can I do that now?
But wait a minute. So we're not going to finish our conversation. You're just going to just jump
No,
somewhere else.
okay. All right. Okay. I see a lot of people coming in, but what I would do, I will, I will address the issue because I wanted you to be my constant guest so that way I can alternate you. If you want to make your point, that's fine. But you were asking your question before you went up. Did you put a period to the end? I mean, your question mark to the end of your question, or you had a follow up after the question before you
No,
went up?
because I don't know where we left off. I think I made a point as far as if you are a due pay member
Yeah,
to an organization,
yeah,
if you paying dues to that organization and that organization make you certain promises, I'm going to do X, Y, Z for you because you are paying me that due.
yeah.
So where does the blame lies?
And you see, everything you talk, I'm crushing it up. Everything you say, I'm crushing it up. And I'm going to put it down. And I'm going to say, Tommy, let's start new. Let's make the process transparent. Everything you said so far, it has been in place for all the years. And the debt been over there. People paying their fines, you asking the question, they are important. But why the system is not benefiting, and that's the reason why you're asking the question. There's a system that they have in place, but the system cannot be measured in terms of expectation. So that's why I just crush it. And there's nothing wrong with your question. My thing here, after looking at why the stockpile is going on, I think we got a system and a program problem. And I think the way we can address that is to re-engineer the whole process. That's what I'm coming from. To re-engineer the whole process. To look at the government structure, to look at the shared responsibility. So I want to build that new platform from my perspective. Number one, I would say the city is dirty because we have a failed and broken down system. Like the question you're asking, these people who paying their fees, they are entitled to get the services they want, Tommy. But why the services not being provided? Because people who are responsible to ensure that these services are given to the people are not doing it. Why are they not doing it? Because people who are above them are not even monitoring the program to ensure that these people get what they want. And why are the people who are above them not making sure? Because their bosses don't even have reporting program that target on a quarterly basis the performance. So in order to put all these little steps together, I just crush it. My thing here, Tommy, and before I bring the other people in, but I will still bring you back because you and I started the show and I want us to be on the show. Here's my re-engineering process here. I would like to see a complete overhaul of the Labrador Marketing Association. I want them, number one, to look at every marketplaces geographically and determine how many people can occupy each market area, and they should be fit into that market and not outside. Now, if they're bringing the old people back, I want to see programs that will help them be trained on how to carry out proper housekeeping. I want to make sure that those who are going to collect the fees must have a frequency to ensure that those who are responsible to pick up the trash, they should do so. Every market building should have their warding, the head of the marketing warding association, that will have inspector in our market that will make sure that when they collect the trash, it is properly placed and is properly guarded for it to be removed. If, for example, some new people come in and there's a space, they should go through the orientation process, how to properly manage your dirt, where to put your dirt, your fees, and how to report discrepancy. If we have that system in place and these people are coming, I think there will be some positive things in there. But remember, it should start from the top of the government that is responsible for that. Because these people pay their money every day, Tommy. These people go, I remember, and you will remember growing up, the city police, they used to be in the market area collecting the poor money, right? But still, we never saw the trash being removed. Now, the city has increased in volume. I think, Tommy, for me, the whole program is not working. It needs to be re-engineered with a program.
But that's what you and I always discuss offline. We always discuss, what do we always discuss? We always discuss the entire system. The entire system in Liberia is broken. And we're not just talking about the marketing. We're just talking about the entire system in general.
Yeah, and for the purpose of the discussion, because the health hazard in our country is going to have a heavy impact, especially the rainy season that is coming right now. They are going to rainy season now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're going to have a very difficult time. So you are talking about every sector that is challenged, but for the sake of the conversation, I'm saying, Tommy, everything we said since we on here on Facebook, I'm saying for sure, we need to re-engineer the whole marketing structure from shared responsibility to compliance, enforcement, and some level of penalty. I think if we put those things in place, everyone will have their part to play. What do you think? What do you think? Because I want to bring you back, but I want to bring the other people so you can hear what they say, and then we'll expect.
Yeah, I will keep watching. Just whenever you're ready, just tag me back in.
Don't go to sleep. Let me see what time is it. We want to leave right. What time you want us to leave?
What time is it now?
10:22. You think we can run to 11?
Let's do this at least by maybe 11:30.
Okay. I was thinking 11, but if you say 11:30, that's fine.
No, 11 is even better for me. 11 is even better for me. So let's do it for 11.
Our finish time is 11:30, but if we can start at 11, that's fine. All right.
Yeah.
So let me bring.
Just tag me back in when you're ready.
All right. Let me bring the other two people and let's hear what they have to say. All right.
Okay, man.
All right. Stick around. There was somebody I saw here. Somebody here. All right. There was somebody I saw here. The guy. Let me bring in other people here. All right. Let me bring. There was a Kezo I saw here, and I see my two regular people. But let me try to bring in some new faces so that we can talk about the issue of the garbage stagnation in the city and other part. So let me bring in this person, and then after that I will bring in my regular people. All right, so whoever is on the other end, I'm trying to bring you on. I hope you're ready to come. So I see Thomas, I see how they call him, Emmanuel Jersey. I'm trying to bring on this other guy. So I don't know, but okay. All right, yeah, the person I was looking for here. Okay. I think it's Khalida. Khalida, hold on there. Let me take my
yeah, brother.
Give me 1 second. Are you driving? Are you, because I see the image moving behind you. I want to be very safe because I'm very safe.
I am safe. I am safe. Okay, I am safe.
Okay.
I had to call in because this issue is something that always on my mind.
Okay.
The dirtiness of our country.
True.
The problem in our country, people, most time we attribute it to the to the government as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
But every major city in our country has a city mayor.
Yes.
But not all the city major and the city council has no program for cleaning the city, and that includes the marketplaces.
Okay.
Now, when
So
that problem,
are you, I mean, from that comment, are you now, because I want you to tailor your discussion to the issue, because you started with all the cities. So are you now labeling the city mayor of Monrovia as not having a program? Because that's where I want us to focus. So are you now?
man, that is what they're giving. I'm not. I'm calling him, and I'm saying that he has no program.
Okay, all right. So for the sake of the conversation, you letting us know that there is no program at the Monrovia City Corporation. Is that what your point going to be tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
That is exactly my point.
Okay, so then expand on that now. Expand on that and tell us what's going on and why we're having the trash.
Okay, we got the trash. Like I said earlier, there's no program. There's no policy. There's no rule, and if they are, it's not being followed. But our present city major is not making drives to ascertain or to acquire equipment that will move dirt and trash from the environs of the Monrovians. People in Monrovia throw their trash everywhere along the road. Why? Because there's nobody there to collect the trash. Like you guys were saying earlier, these programs need to be revamped. And the only person who can revamp it is the city council. The city council come out with ordinances. The ordinances goes out to the people. The people know that, okay, this is the ordinance, this is where trash must be, this is where these containers are placed in certain positions, that the garbage will be collected from these positions at a particular time of the day on a particular day of the week.
Okay.
Now, if that is put into play, people will not litter. They will not throw things along the street and get away with it. But people eating candy, throw the paper right on the street when you add it and say, but no garbage can. They throw the banana paper right in the street. No garbage can. My man,
so what you think can be done from a community standpoint, from an educational standpoint, from an awareness standpoint, and from our municipalities, regulations, some type of municipal code, looking at the entire country? Because I know you expanding it, not just confining that thing to the marketing association, but I think you're going into the pickup part of it. So what do you think can be done to start to reduce that level of ignorance to our people? What do you think can be done?
Well, basically, I don't call our people ignorant. I just call our people that there's no reinforcement, so they don't follow the ordinances.
Ignorance.
I'm coming. I know.
Hold on. Ignorance, illiteracy, those are words that I use not to insult people, but to tell people the level of limit we have. All right. So, for example, back in the days, before the introduction of computers that we use today, like the one I'm using right now here, there were people with PhDs that were not using desktop computer, neither laptop computer. They were ignorant to the use of portable computer. They were illiterate to the computer. But over time, when they started to use this thing, then they became literate to these things. So that from that background, I'm saying it, and I'm glad that you point that out because people will want to take that out of context as the way as an insult, and that's why I like the conversation to make that clear. The ignorant means that they don't have the tools, they don't have the awareness as to what the significance of having these tools to do for them. So, but you can use your choice of words if you want. And if you don't
No,
want to go with ignorance, you can use that. That's fine. But I just want to clear myself because you pointed that out, right? So I hope you don't lose
I,
your thought. Go ahead.
no. I understand and I agree with you. You see, most time I don't take word with one meaning. Okay. When
Yeah,
somebody says somebody is ignorant, I take it into context. Ignorant of what? Ignorant means you
yeah,
don't know, and you don't know certain things. You are ignorant to it. But when
yeah.
I say that our Liberian people are not ignorant,
Mm.
I mean that our Liberian people know the benefit. They
Try to wrap
know.
it up because somebody is waiting for you. So I want to be
Okay,
very pressed with time. So just wrap it up.
okay. The better thing that the city council can do is to provide trash cans. Start with providing the trash cans to position and places where people can use. People can
Okay.
put their trash, and that will give people the responsibility to put their trash there, even in the marketplace. And if they
Okay.
do that, and they pick the trash from there at the appropriate time, there will be no trash. And then you can hold the people accountable for
Okay.
littering and other things.
Do
That
you
is my
think?
point.
Do you think before you go? Last question for you. Do you think we need to have programs from the market level into our school and into our place of work that relate to uh, garbage littering program that will help our people to understand the significant risks that it poses to put things to where they don't belong? Do you think we need to have orientation to create more awareness for our people?
I would say yes, and I would say no. Yes,
Hmm.
because it will enlighten our people, further enlighten our people and hold them responsible. No,
Okay.
because even in our interior, the people
Yeah.
know where to put their trash. They don't put their
Yeah.
trash where they sit.
Yeah.
So when I say no, I mean that we already know it. All we got to do is to provide it and tell them this is where the trash needs to go, and they will put
Okay.
it there.
Okay. Thank you. And safe drive. Where you going
Thank
now?
you,
Are
sir.
you going to River
I'm
G? You
not,
going to my country? Are you going
no,
to River G?
I'm going to watch you, bro. I'm going to catch a quick sleep.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Take
bro.
it. The day you go to River G, call me. I want you to take me to River G. All right.
Okay.
All right. Take care now.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate you. All right.
Thanks for having me on. Bye.
All right. Welcome. All right. So let me bring in this other person has been waiting patiently. Uh, Kala. Okay, I'll just take the first name. Kluman. Yeah. Let me bring in Kluman so he or she can state their last name. I mean their first name. I see Gus Coma is here. I see D Flow is here. I don't have the classroom show anymore. I don't have the Randy special. So I just came out with the open discussion as to why Monrovia and its environment so dirty. So how you say your first name, Kluma? What is your first name?
Kadala.
Kadala?
Yes.
I should be conking my head. I knew that was it, but I screwed up. Welcome
It's
to the show, my brother. We are here just brainstorming on the situation in the country. And I don't want us to throw blame. I just want us to look at it from a shared responsibility point, lack of awareness, lack of education, or being illiterate to things that are very concerning to our country. So, what is your opinion, or what are your suggestions when it comes to um, uh, um, what can be done to our clean? What do you think? And let me say hi to D Flow, one of my good friends. He's watching tonight. So what can be done? What is your opinion as to that? You want to share with us?
Yeah, first of all, let me tell you, my brother, thank you very much for the show. I've been really following you, and I know you're one of the vehicle, in the sedition, area. I was expecting for you to actually be the guy to that area that you're currently discussing. However, it's never too late, But thank you very much for putting highlight on this issue.
You're welcome.
My man, I was telling a friend of mine, I said, those of us that are in the diaspora area that found ourselves in certain area, in certain academic area that we are knowledgeable of certain things, we need to now start to find such solution to Liberia problem. And that with all the years in existence up to now, we have no accurate system that people can that govern the society.
Yeah.
Everybody just going whatever thing they want to do, they just go there, they do whatever thing they want to do.
True.
As far as the sanitation thing you're talking about, you spoke about system, and the guy was talking about the people pay their money, so they're supposed to, force the people to collect the garbage. First of all, before you pay money to anyone to work for you, you want to know whether they are competent enough to do the job that you want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a very competent person, if I'm giving my money, if I want someone to face part of my house, anyone if the contractor come to me, I want to know whether you are competent enough to do what I want to be done. I'm not just going to give my money to you.
Yeah.
You see, that's the ignorant aspect to it. But all these things that are happening in our country, a lack of system, lack of implementation, and lack of law for the country.
Yeah. And to add that, the reason I crushed this cup here, because it was my cup I was supposed to start drinking in, but just to be more simple with my explanation, any program you put in place, if it cannot be measured, that means you will not see progress.
No.
The reason we have this stockpile of our country is because whatever program that they are using to collect the money, they are considering the expectation. So I said, I said to him, I think it will be better that we crush it. So let's just say we're discussing it. Oh, are you at work?
Kadala.
Okay, the brothers at work. So let as Kadala take a call.
No.
Let me just say something here.
Okay,
I think.
All right, listen, my man, I'm back. Sorry, listen.
Okay.
I'm really enjoying your show. I'm telling you, I'm really enjoying your show.
And I appreciate you for sharing your time with us too. I want you to give, with the little time you have now, I want you to give a solution to the challenges when it comes to the trap. What would you suggest now? What are some of the reinventing or resetting the button to make our city better?
First of all, I am not saying for them to reset the button. I'm talking about as far as the city mayor. Okay. Let me tell you something, Manny. Anytime when you want something to be done, you want to look for competent people that know how to get the job done, people who have ideas, if you put someone into place that don't have idea to get the job done, they're always seeking idea from outside. It will take a long time for things to be done. Because, for example, if the person have to take 3 years to go study and come back, during that 3-year period, the country will be down. So you want to put people in place that already have the vehicle, the competence in their mind to get the job done. Education. You can't just put a bunch of people somewhere.
So Kadala, that's something I would call lesson learned. But now we have the problem now. What is the quick fix now? Because we're seeing a day, and the rainy season will soon come in, and we're going to see a lot of cross-contamination. So,
first of all, the quick fix right now, whatever money they have in place, they have to buy garbage, big garbage container and distribute it to all these areas. And second of all, they have to put foot soldier in each of the market area to teach the people as to how the garbage is going to be collected and the replementation. If you don't put the garbage here at this time for the garbage to be picked up, and if the garbage pick up put here, these things have to be put in place and they have to be enforced immediately. But the people have to be educated, because if
Yeah.
the people are not educated, they won't know the impact of garbage all over.
True.
Education, number one, is the primary issue in our country.
Do you see
Educated
this problem as a problem that the government, or is it something that is part of our history of not being in the know? How do you see that?
So this problem have always been existing. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you one thing and get off the phone so you get other people a chance to talk. I always tell people this thing, not because Peter have done the same thing, so Paul have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
That's always been our biggest problem in Liberia. Because our Liberian style, we have some quotation. Or the old people that were here that know a lot, they didn't do it. That you will do it now. Then
Yeah.
you will join the group too. We always have that. But Papa, the people that were here, the Oma were here, the Oma don't do nothing. And you come now, you want to try to do it, you better get on and get out. That's the thing that's the thing that holding us back. I'm telling you. I mean, thank you for the show, man. All right.
And I appreciate you too. All right, I appreciate you.
Problem.
So
No problem.
what I'm planning on doing before you go is, I have had so many calls because tomorrow I should have been shutting my Facebook down. But I got a lot of good friends who have called me, and they told me, they said, look, you can rebrand yourself. You have the capability. So I'm going to just have what I want to discuss as open matter that somebody suggested. So whatever we see is happening in the country, it doesn't have to be politics. We just come up with topics that will focus on community development and community participation. So tomorrow, what are the people in the interior side being part of the thing that people do in the city? How much do they know about, let's say, for example, the protest or the government performance? How much do they know? Are we making decisions for them without them even understanding it? So those are things that I'm looking forward to be discussing going forward, and not just focus on politics, because I think through that help you.
My man, thank you very much. But let me tell you something quick. Let us organize ourselves in the diaspora. The Liberian, the knowledgeable Liberian that are here. Let us organize ourselves. Let us come up with an idea, put together, and present that idea to the government and follow it through. I always tell everybody this
thing.
What
I will put there as a restriction is it should be non-politically related.
No politics. We come up with an idea as to how we want our country to be developed, and we draft that idea very good and submit it to the government and tell the government, listen, we're submitting this to you, but because this is our plan, and we're going to be watching you keenly. You understand? We're going to be watching you keenly, and believe it or not, if we really can do that and we follow it through, most of these ideas that will be on our paper will be implemented. Because you know, everything comes from America here. Come on. We need to do something.
Somebody said that to me today. Somebody said that to me today. Thank you.
All right. Okay, my brother.
All right. All right. Let me see who here. All right. Let me bring in Emmanuel Jersey, and I'll bring in Thomas. Yeah, so guys, tonight we just discussing different.
Ronald, how you doing?
I hope I get that feedback from you. Let's see.
No feedback because I got my earpiece now.
Oh, so you know the solution to your problem, but sometimes you can be non-compliant. Okay, now you know what make you keep compliance. So if you violate and you fall in non-compliance, you will have to pay some penalty.
I will be penalized.
All right. So you're in Australia. My experience with Australia is one of the most regulated country when it comes to environmental cleanliness, because I have done a lot of on LinkedIn Professional. I have most of my sources from Australia. Good guys over there.
Exactly.
So I like you to take your time, and I hope you're driving safely.
Yeah.
I want you to provide the challenges with regards to our garbage and the solid waste in the country. And I want you to tell us what are some of the quick fix in terms of reducing the risks that those solid waste are posting to our people. And help us understand that, my brother.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I strongly believe that the solid waste in Liberia can be managed professionally, and even the community can even benefit from the solid waste when it managed professionally. How it happening here? Because those things we call garbage or solid waste can be used as a fertilizer to plant. You know,
Okay.
so but in Liberia, I think I will focus on a quick fix solution. And the
Okay.
quick fix solution is we have students that in need of money to pay school fees. We have
Mm-hmm.
army. So what we can do for the quick fix solution is to give vocational job to students in that direction and pay a good amount of money that will attract the student to work in that direction, because the city mayor alone cannot do all. Then the army are sitting in Morovia. They've been paid. They don't have war now. We don't have anything to do. These people can be incorporated with the city corporation to
So, so,
dispose.
so,
Yeah.
so, so, who should take the lead in doing that? Who should be the lead or the captain in doing that? What you just said, who should take the lead?
Well,
The citizen, or the government?
the city, because the garbage, the city maintenance there is involved the marketeer and the marketing association, and the marketing association, they are not taking full responsibility. They, when they get the money, they divide among themselves, and those that are paying the money, they complain. So, but the best thing we can do is to attract people, the what I said, the citizen, the student, and the army, to involve with the city corporation so that they can work in that direction to dispose of garbage. And again, and we keep saying that the marketing environment is not conducive. What do that mean? Government need to build shopping center in which this area will have area where those deaths can be contained. You know, because we are not doing that. So at the end of the day, the market area we're talking about, my brother. See PV Relay Market. If we have modern shopping center, everything will be our conscience.
So
Nobody gonna put debt on the
let me
street.
hold you there. You strike a point that just captured my memory. I think sometime last month or perhaps in March or February of this year, the president went to Uminga Tower, where Uminga Tower used to be, and broke ground there for a new market site. And
Yeah.
I remember the suspended information minister now said that that market will have parking lots, they will have designated dumpster to throw trash. Do you see that place as a risk to also turning into another misuse dump site by the marketeer? Do you see a risk, even though they spoke about, I mean, they talk about all the different uh, 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 um, measures that will be put in place to give that place a better health standard? Do you still see a risk if that place is built? Do you still see a risk in that?
I say minimum risk when it is built on a professional and a professional standard, in which there will be area to continue those things, but it has to do with principle and standard. It will
What are,
it yeah,
what are some of the principles and standards? I'm interested in the
okay.
standards.
For instance, in Singapore, when you drop dirt on the street, you will be penalized. Even in Australia here, when you dispose garbage on the street illegally, you will be penalized. So these are standard. These are principle. It will register in people's mind that if you do drop any dirt on the street, you will be penalized. You will be arrested and be prosecuted. So people don't want to go to jail for Giacomotti, and those things should be implemented. You know, it should be measurable. But if there's no standard to follow those steps, my brother, nothing will
So,
succeed.
so what Katala said, I hope I'm pronouncing his first name right, Kadala, yes?
Kadala Kuma, yeah.
Yeah, Kadala is calling for, you know, training our people to be self-responsible in, and you know, trashing things to where it belongs. So, do you think, as part of the quick fix, where we are calling for government to look for sources in terms of human capacity, to set a frequency to remove the trash, and ensure that people are giving awareness in how to properly stage their dirt and the government responsibility to remove that. Do you think one of the ways that the market in the Uminga area will be preserved to meet environmental standard and public health standard is to orientate the people on how they should maintain that area? Do you think there should be some type of orientation for those that will occupy that market along with some enforcement?
Exactly, but the orientation and continuing education is not a quick fix solution. It is a long term solution because in continuing education, it will be part of the qualification or the criteria to sell in the market. And before you sell in the market, everybody need to go through that orientation and be certificated to know that, oh, I know where to dispose my garbage. I know where to put it in.
Okay. All right. Well said.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Safe drive. By the way, where you going, my man? In there? Where you going there?
No, I'm going to camp to enroll for one subject.
What time is it over there now?
In the morning, I think, what time is that? I think, what time is it? After 12:50, 12 p.m.
You know, I wish my daughter, I don't let her sleep. She had that power to go from one place of the earth to another place, because right now she don't want to sleep. So she can come to your side there and enjoy the daylight. When day break, and she come this side with you guys. All right, oh my comfort, I see you here. Let me bring in my brother here, Thomas, and then from there I'll go back to Thomas Awaji so we can call it a night. So Thomas Awaji, stand by. Right after Thomas Asumana, I will be bringing you in so that we can close the window here tonight. All right. So I'm bringing in Thomas Asumana to come and close the night. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, good to see you again.
Yeah, we are here not on the cloud room. The cloud room show is no more. The rainy special is no more. We, like I said,
Right.
we are looking at other ways to discuss things now. It's going to be as needed, and it's not going to be just focusing on politics. It's going to be issues that matter to the people and not to the government officials. So we are concerned about garbage and
Yeah, the quick fix.
We're looking at
My take to the topic would be: does the city corporation have equipment to clear these garbages around the city? From my experience, when I was in Liberia a couple of years ago, I had a very close friend that used to work with the city corporation, and their operation was like they didn't have a specific budget, probably because it was child stealer time or so things were not, really put in place. But they always depended on donors, giving them money to help them clean the city. Every time they go, to donors, asking, begging, for funds to help them clean the city. But if at all the city has its own budget that they can control and then have equipment, look, to clean that city is not going to be hard. If you have three front loaders that belong to the city corporation, okay, and then you have areas where you designate for garbages to be, that city will be clean, and it should be like on a routine basis where at so time, so date, the front rollers will go at this location and clean the garbage, and then it will be okay. But what they've been doing, they've been renting equipment to do the cleaning up, and renting those equipment will cost you more than when you buy your own equipment and have it to maintain it, because people will use the rental situation to exploit the system, okay? And especially even people who are working within the city corporation, they will use that same rental situation to exploit the system, like inflating the cost, inflating prices of things that, they want to work.
So what I want to get from you, I know you're trying to basically audit the system that have been in place and measure the performance
that's something that we're looking at. But what I want you to tell us tonight, why the city and state environment is so dirty. What are some of the solutions to the amount of right now? The next time we talk about what are some of the benefits or action that city can use in terms of the OSAS as we're moving now, why you think that is really a self-retreat? Who are the contributor and what can
the inhabitants of the city, everybody that live in that city, education is one key factor, okay? Educate the people where to keep or where to store their garbage, okay? Let make it by communities, okay? Like you go to this community and begin to educate these people, okay? The city, we want to keep the city clean, so there's a specific location that you have to keep your garbage, or bring an idea, bring a garbage can in those communities and force those people to buy no garbage can to keep their garbage in. And then let them keep the garbage and tell them these are the days we'll collect the garbage. Bring the garbage at this location.
Do you want to force them or you want to?
Yeah, to keep your surrounding, you have to educate them first to tell them this is the system we want to put in place. Tell them, let them know that this is what we're going to implement. Okay, and we are bringing so thing at an affordable price for people who live in those communities, that or they make the garbage can affordable for them. But
what if they cannot pay? But what I want us to do tonight is to take a baby step. The market places that, because if you look at Liberia, especially and you try to use your pointers, the high hit area where you get most solid waste is around the market area. Because people generate that around the market area. So what can we do to reduce the amount of solid waste right now? What can be done?
As I said earlier, the city corporation should have those yellow machine, front end loader, if they can have 3 on their own. Every 2 days, you go to all those market areas and clean up the dirt. Every 2 days. But they're not doing it like that. They leave the market to power because, like in Jungbatan,
why you think they're not doing that? Why you think they're not doing that?
Because they don't have the equipment. They don't have the equipment.
And why they don't have?
They don't have the.
Why they don't have?
City corporation.
Why they
City
don't have
corporation. Probably is finances or system now in place. They're now following, what system that has been put in place from the previous government that had been keeping that city clean.
And what are some of the solutions now? And what are some of the solutions?
The solution is they should have a budget set. Like, this is the budget. Let them know how much it would take to clean the city. Let them have that budget set and then operate in that budget. You understand? And once they do that, that city is going to be kept clean. Like in Jungbatan, as I was saying, in all the market areas, they have a specific area within the market area there that they build some kind of block where all waste supposed to be dumped. Okay, at the time they used to dump the waste there, and then the city corporation will come and collect the waste. So there are places that have the located in those areas that you should pour your dirt there. But in so doing, you have to educate the people that don't just throw the dirt all over the place. Here's a location you're supposed to carry your dirt. That's why I say system. The system is broken. They're not following the system. That's what causing the problem.
Okay. All right, Chief. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can bring Thomas so we can close it up. If he's not coming, I'll close it up. But this is what we're going to be doing. All right. I see somebody talking about PTSD. That's a very good topic too. But if I'm discussing it, I'm not going to discuss it as an expert. I'm going to discuss it from a societal behavior standpoint, because demobilization, reintegration, didn't really take effect and it did not become efficient and effective in our society. As a result, we see people are behaving outrageously in the country, and a lot of things that
You see,
people say.
us Liberian, we quick to fall in line. When Mary Brown was sitting mayor in that country, she introduces ticket system. You don't have parking meters, right, in the street. But she introduced a ticket system where city police or city Monrovia City Corporation employees had this ticket. I think it still goes on there. That when you park, they write the ticket out for you, okay, and they stay there and wait. Anytime you come out, you try to get in your car, you pay for the ticket they gave you, okay. And once you put this system in place, like people will follow and educate them about trash can. This is where the trash cans are. You should put your trash can there. And so day, or you have it in your house, bring your trash can outside and put it in this place. Once you start doing that, if people don't follow it, you start, giving them like punishment or taking them to court to prosecute them. That city will be clean, my brother. I tell you no lie.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your input tonight, man. Always appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. All right, let me bring in Thomas here and let he give his input for the night. And I think to every point, all right, Tommy, we are 1 o'clock
Yes.
on the dot. I mean, I'm getting sleepy. I had the Homeland Security, they came for 3-day audit. So I'm tired, I want to sleep. So I want to wrap it up from now to 11:10 or 11:15. So what is your closing statement?
Let's try to close this down in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, I will stretch it out to 15 if I will get my closing statement. So shoot, go ahead. What have you learned from everyone who called tonight? And let me appreciate everyone for their participation. And what are the missed opportunities?
You had a lot of great informative callers, people like Kadala.
Yeah.
Kadala made a point as far as competency. Before the market people pay money to somebody, you got to know the competency of that people. But my question was to Kadala is, if you have the Liberian Marketing Association, which is probably like the most prominent agency in that place as far as vendors, who else do you have to who else do you have to turn to? What do you have competition? Does the LMA have a competition where you can say, okay, let me weigh the LMA, let me weigh the Marketing Association, or let me weigh this other private organization to see who can offer me the better services? Most of us who live in the diaspora, we have competition for people who can even come pick up your garbage. We have competition. Emmanuel made a point about the military. The military is not there to be picking up garbage. That's not the job of the military. The military is there for national disaster issues and those type of things. That's not the job of the military.
No, but I think in all fairness, the email, it was part of the quick fix. It was part of the quick fix.
No, Randy, no.
I'm not speaking for him, but I think he was looking at the quick fix in terms of getting rid of the garbage, because right now the garbage is overcrowding and overtaking major layouts in the country. So I believe it was from that background to reduce that level of hazards in the country. I think it was from that, because I posed the question to him, what was the quick fix? And it was based on that he came out with volunteers and the army. So in all fairness to him, I just want to bring that out there.
Who's gonna volunteer for White Liberia? Volunteer means no pay.
You can never tell, Thomas. Having a preconceived mind and trying it all are two different things.
Randy, if you create, like I told you before, as much as that city is dirty, if you create part-time jobs for the same young folks that we talk about on a daily basis who are out chanting, dancing,
Thomas,
singing.
here's the situation for tonight. We have been looking at how to immediately begin to remove the trash around our city. We are seeing
you can immediately do it by creating part-time positions for the young men in that country.
Time, Tommy. We will take time to create a position.
Okay, so right? there is no immediate solution.
No, there are time because you have to look at the competency. What I'm saying here, we got debt that's supposed to be removed next week. We're not going to look for a job because this is an imminent hazard. If the city mayor and the other mayor want to remove the debt next week, we need an immediate action plan to begin to move the dirt. And now, when that dirt is removed, the next thing now is to start to look for the opportunity you're talking about here. So in the meantime, what can we do? Can we call for volunteers and streamline them to help in the process? And then once that is done, because that's why I said, what is the quick fix? We want to remove the debt by next week.
There are no quick fixes. There are no quick fixes.
So
because
the debt cannot be removed next week?
The system.
No, I'm not talking about the system now, Tommy. I'm talking about we want to get rid of the debt tomorrow. I mean, next week.
Why do you always want to have a conversation?
Because I want you to get the point. We got an imminent situation here, and we're sitting down now as executive on the Liberia City Mayor Council. We want to remove the debt next week. Mm-hmm. What can we do? You and myself sitting down now. What can we do to remove the debt next week?
So what's your quick fix for next week?
Huh?
What's your quick fix for next week?
My suggestion here now is like the last caller just left. Let us look within our procurement division, farm machines, farm front loaders that will remove the debt and begin to go to the phase that you're talking about now. And many people mentioned educating our people now how to properly stage that in those areas. Because for now, the city is messed up. So if we want to remove the debt beginning next week, we need equipment, we need volunteers to help out and perform their civil duty. To just get rid of that imminent threat. That's what I'm talking about now, because you see the city, Thomas. It's an epidemic out there, like somebody said. So if we were sitting down on the table of the Monrovia City Corporation and want to remove the debt by next week, what would be your input right now? Let's say we want to remove the debt by next week. What would be your input for that?
Okay, if they cannot.
I'm hearing you, Tommy, and I don't think other people hearing you.
If they cannot create part-time jobs for those people,
I'm not hearing you, Tommy. Yeah, I want people to hear you, bro.
Can you hear me any better?
Yeah, it's better now. It's better. Keep it that way.
Okay. If you cannot create part-time jobs for the very same people in the communities who have nothing better to do, okay? And if you think that you're going to get those very same people to come and volunteer, I said, good luck.
Well, good luck. All right. I hear you. If the people think to get jobs and what will keep their city clean, that's fine. But
really?
Yeah. You see,
would you rather volunteer or get paid?
Hold on to a point
here. Would you rather volunteer or get paid?
Hold on. Just 2 Saturdays ago, a community next door to my city, they had a big volunteer cleanup because the place was messed up. They sent out communication to people who went there. Even my daughter went there to volunteer to clean up. They were not calling them to hire them. But because they felt that they needed volunteers to take care of that job that weekend, they got people on. And if you say that, oh, if it's not a job, then that is something that I should look up.
Randy. I live here, you live here. If I'm going to go volunteer on a Saturday or on a weekend, okay, I'm most likely, I probably already have a job. Most likely, I probably already have a job.
Yeah, but
most
but
likely,
what make you a good citizen, Tommy?
Look,
what make you a good citizen?
Randy,
It is your ability to talk to people, to persuade people, Tommy. You see, we can't remain in one-way lane. We got to make that poll dynamic. If we have a situation or national crisis, do you not see, or don't you see the means to persuade people to volunteer? So are you telling me that without job promising people, there is no way that people can talk to people to volunteer in Liberia? Is that the call to the chase?
Randy, you can have people who are willing to come and volunteer. I'm not saying volunteerism doesn't happen. It happens.
But that's
what I'm saying
about in order to remove the debt for next week. That's what I'm talking about. And that's the approach I want us to take. Because if you say you want to hire these people before you remove the debt, hiring is going to take process. I am not
saying that because you don't allow people to speak.
No, but because you're not understanding my question. I just said to you, bro, we want to remove the debt next week. What can we do to remove the debt for next week?
You do not allow people to speak. Allow people to speak. Allow people to share ideas.
Tommy, here's the fire here, Tommy. I'm posting my question to you, but you're not coming
because your problem is you want people to come around to you.
No.
You want people to come around to your idea.
Here's the thing for our discussion. I'm saying I want to remove the debt next week. You saying we should hire people, and I'm saying it's going to take a very long time to hire people. Let's start with volunteer.
You know people in Liberia. I know people in Liberia. If you can find me 20 volunteers by next week Saturday, I will give you 50 volunteers.
So what hiring are you talking about now?
Okay, no, let's forget about the hiring.
No. Let's go back again. What hiring are you talking about now?
Help me
understand. What hiring are you talking about?
Allow me to talk, brother.
Huh?
You're not allowing me to talk.
That's why I'm asking you the question now. No? The question will allow you to talk. When you talk about hiring people to do the job, what kind of hiring are you looking for now?
Okay, my thing is this. If the government cannot create part-time jobs for people to clean up the city, I tell you this. If you can give me 20 volunteers by next Saturday, I will give you 50 volunteers.
All right, Tommy. I hear you.
Okay. You can either create part-time jobs for those people, or you can put a voluntary basis out there where the people come, they work, you give them cold water, you give them dry rice, they eat, they go home, they work all day to go home, or you can create part-time jobs for them. But if you call it on volunteers, then let's call on volunteers to do it. And let's see how many volunteers will come.
You see, you just said something that you know is part of what I'm calling for. Everyone who go volunteer in communities around the world, part of the reward they get for spending that little time will include some lunches, water, and other stuff. If you
Because
never
they
talk to that,
already have jobs. They have jobs.
no,
So they're
that's
not there to
that's not what
volunteer
I'm
for
talking
food
about.
or
That's not what I'm
water.
talking about. That's not what I'm
They're
talking
not
about.
there to volunteer for food or
That's not what
water.
I'm
They
talking
have
about.
jobs.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm looking at the quick removal of trash in the city. That's one. And if we decide to move the trash by next week, I'm saying there are people who are good citizens in our country that should be called upon to provide voluntary services to help. Now, as part of the voluntary compensation, they can be given food, they can be given water to provide those services. If that trash is removed by next week, and we tend to look at a long-term plan, that when now we start to look among those volunteers and other people to say, okay, instead of you guys volunteering, we want to sustain the process. And we'd like to bring you guys on board. Looking at their qualification, whether they need training, or how can we get them on board. That is the long-term plan to sustain the process. I'm looking at the immediate action plan, and that means we must get volunteers. And if you don't see it that way, well, I would just say you're entitled to your opinion, but that is what I would do, because right now, the city, tomorrow, don't be surprised if somebody go out there again and start showing video of the city and we want to clean up the ditch.
How much training do you need to come and clean up garbage on the street?
Oh, you need a lot of training, because number one, there is something called leachate within the trash. There is something called toxicity in the trash. There are sharps and other things in the trash. Those who are going to pick up that trash must be trained to the different.
Okay. So if you need all that technical training,
yes,
to come and clean the trash,
yes,
but then you want the volunteers to go out there and do it next week.
You will coordinate the cleaning. When you bring people, you coordinate them. When you hire people, you assign responsibility to them. That's what you do. The people who work in a park, they go and work in the park every day. But when there's a volunteer work, you'll report to the lead that is going to carry on the volunteer work, and they read the scope of that work for the day, and they monitor you people. That's why it is. My thing is, if we have the trash, what can we do to clean the trash or coming next week? We don't have the time to hire these people. We don't have the money. There's something called citizen responsibility. I understand that they need to work.
Randy, I agree with you. Like I said, you got people in Liberia. I got people in Liberia. Let's get the MCC. If you can get 20 people to show up to the MCC to say, I'm here to volunteer, I will get 50 people.
No, the MCC have to call them up. They have to make that voluntary call. They're not just going to volunteer. If you need help, you're going to call for the help.
Okay. So let you and me, and all the other listeners call on the MCC to do a volunteer campaign.
But you think what the source of the final discussion is all about? That's why we're playing it pretend. We are sitting down now and brainstorming on how we can get rid of those stockpiles that are overdue when it comes to removal. What can we do? Let us get volunteer. Let the city mayor reach out to every community for volunteer. Even the marketeers can be coordinated to provide some volunteer services in the country.
Okay, so let's between now and next Saturday, let you and me make it the effort to call on the MCC.
No. The purpose of this show, and I will make a disclaimer here, is not to force the government, because I am not confident, and the way now I will cross into politics a little bit. This is just an open discussion that don't mean to hold anybody feet to the fire. This is a heartbreak conversation we're having with regards to the debt back home. If the government want to take the advice, it's up to them. But I'm not going to get into any bidding war with you because I'm not sure whether they're even going to carry out what we discussed here tonight. But I just want us to send that message out there about looking at some quick solution to sustain or program that may be put in place after the quick fix. How do we handle these things? That's from that background I'm speaking from, Tommy. But I cannot guarantee you that the city mayor is going to do what we're asking them to do here. You know our people. They don't want to take people's ideas because they think that people will say that's my credit because he's using it. So I can't guarantee you that one, Tommy. I'm not going to bet you on that one. I would say that one you win.
Let me just address one of your viewers here.
I can hear you, bro. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. Let me just address one of your viewers here. Comfort Henrys.
Yeah.
She said, where does this color live? People volunteer in the U.S. to get unemployment, and some do willingly. Like I stated before, I volunteered in America here almost every other weekend. When I was in high school, I volunteered in America here. That's how I got connection to jobs. Okay, so my issue is not about volunteering. My issue is not about volunteering. You can volunteer, but people in Liberia are not just going to jump up and volunteer. We're living in America here, but we keep comparing their standards to Liberia. You can live in America here. I go volunteer every weekend. If I go volunteer, I carry my own cold water. I carry my own snacks. I'm not necessarily depending on what they provide me. But because I know I got my own job, I know I got my own source of income, so I can go and volunteer with no problems. But when you're dealing with the people where people don't have jobs, who do you think is going to just get up on a Saturday morning and say, oh, let me go spend 8 hours volunteering? To do what?
Tommy, that one I would disagree with you. I would disagree.
Of course you will. Of course you will.
Disagree with you. Why? Because everybody don't have the same mindset as you. There are some Liberians, when that call is made for volunteer, all of that 4.5 million who got over there, one or two Liberians or that number will walk to that place and say, I'm here to volunteer. So don't just read off the entire population.
Randy.
Just made. On your comment just made. Who will leave to go there and say, I'm here to volunteer? That's where I'm making the comment from. I disagree with you on that one. Yes.
Randy.
Yes.
When I'm in Liberia, I volunteer in my community. You have seen me picking up trash in my community. If I'm picking up trash, if I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning in that community and picking up trash, okay, I will get 1 or 2 people who will come and join me. Why? Because they care about the community. But the way you're trying to make it seem to do this nationwide or this citywide volunteering, it's not going to happen.
No. It takes a community to build a city. There are many people in that place. See, what you're trying to do here is to discourage the ambition of.
I'm trying to discourage people.
No. This is what you're doing here. All right. Instead of you giving hope to things that can happen, you are striking it down. And that is not rebuilding our country.
I just told you. I said, find me 20 volunteers.
That's what I'm telling you now. I'm not going to do that because I'm not in that position. If tomorrow they say the mayor and permanent Liberians, all right?
You're not in a position to do what?
I'm not in a position right now to speak to people in Liberia. I'm not in a position.
You talk to people every day in Liberia.
No. Listen now. Listen. Majority of the people on Facebook, they are paid agents that will not want to hear what I'm saying. You wouldn't wait back if you are flying me back to Liberia and I go into these communities and begin to speak to people and persuade people who want to see a quality environment and tell them the importance of why at this time we can volunteer just for one time and help remove the trash, and then find a sustainable way to maintain those things. People will see need. But to say farming this volunteer, I don't think people will walk and go volunteer. That is not what I call collaboration. That is not what I call being a Liberian. All right? We have to instill into our people the Liberianness, the love for country. All right? And it starts from volunteer. All the things you see today, the army and other institutions, it started with volunteer. Then before it became incorporated. If we want to build our country, why can we say that? So let me just say something quickly here. Today we have the National Reserve in America. If Liberia decides to have an army called the National Guard, voluntary men, are you telling me that people will not go volunteer to protect their country in terms of disaster? There will be one person that will not go there and say, I volunteer to be on any kind of disaster committee. Should in case something happens, I will be there to stand for my country. Are you telling me that that is impossible in Liberia, Tommy?
If there are long-term benefits, the people here that you call reserve.
The long-term benefit will start by people showing commitment. You can't just start giving people assurance when they don't earn these things.
Do you know the U.S. military reserve in the United States?
I'm not talking about the U.S. military. I'm talking about adopting our national value in our country. Every time offline, you talk about, oh, I love my country. I love my country. Now we are talking about a condition in our country that will prove our loyalty to our country. If Monrovia need help and the people calling for volunteer, you telling me, oh, it should be based on hiring before we have volunteer? Is that why?
Like I told you, and I would tell you, and I would tell every single one of the people that are listening to you right now. If each of the people that's listening to you right now provide 20 volunteers, I will provide 50.
No, you speak about loving the country, but you don't have confidence in the people's love for country. That's how I see it. You having a preconceived mind that there will be nobody in our country.
Randy, I didn't say that.
I didn't say that. Right now, you challenging people who are listening right now that if they give you 20, then you will provide 50. That means you're telling us that there's nobody in Liberia that will volunteer.
Once again, I did not say that. I already told you.
Maybe
you have followed me. I go to Liberia and I wake up 7 o'clock in the morning to pick up trash in the community, and I get 10, 15 people to join me. So I didn't say that.
But you just said something. Okay, so can you repeat what you said about if they show me 20, I will get them 50? Can you expand on that so we can understand what you mean by that?
If you and everybody that's listening to me, if you know of 20 people who can get together on a Saturday morning and help clean the city, I will guarantee you 50 volunteers who will show up.
And what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
What do you mean what I mean by that?
There must be a reason for you stating that. What do you mean by that?
No, because I'm telling you.
No, but
if you say you want people to, if you say you want people to volunteer,
yeah,
I said you show me 20 people who can volunteer. I will give you 50 to join the group.
What is prompting you to make that comment? There should be a reason behind that. Why?
We all want people to volunteer. We all want people to volunteer. So if you can get 20 people to volunteer, and I can get 50 people to volunteer, that's 70 people.
So what is the interpretation? Because you say you provide 50. Are you challenging what?
It's a challenge. It's a challenge. If we want to clean up our city, it's a challenge. It's a volunteer challenge.
So what is your expectation? That it can work or it cannot work? So why are you putting that number there? Why? I want you to understand. I want you to help me understand. What do you mean by that? Are you looking at it from
If you will
a
allow
challenge,
me
or
to
are you looking at
speak,
it from it being
allow me to
impossible?
speak. Oh, my man.
Huh?
If you will not allow me to speak, how will you understand what I'm trying to say?
I'm asking you questions, Tommy. Calm down. If you
But how can you
come up
ask me
with
a
a theory,
question and then allow me to answer?
if you come up with a theory, I will challenge your theory. You said if everyone listening to me can provide 20 volunteers, you provide 50. I'm asking you, why are you making that theory? Explain it to us so we can understand.
Because your theory, I'm going off of your theory that people will volunteer. There are people who are willing to volunteer.
Okay, so you're saying that people will not volunteer. Is that why you're making that is that why you're making that bid to 50? That people
Really,
will not
I
volunteer?
just told you. I said there are people who are willing to volunteer. If each can provide X amount of people to volunteer, the people will come out and volunteer. But then you keep going back to this different thing. I don't understand you. I'm not understanding you.
And that's why I'm asking you to explain yourself, because if
but you're not listening to me.
no. The way you presenting it is what making it difficult for you. Because the way you presenting it, if anyone can give me 20, I will give them 50. That means that you challenging what I'm saying, that it will not happen. And if they can give me 20, I will give them 50. If you think I'm wrong, that's why I'm giving you the opportunity to come and explain to us what you say, so we can understand that. Are you there? All right. I think Thomas left. Okay, folks. I mean, it was a pleasure being here, and I think around the 11:30 mark that we set up. You know, when you come on my show, I will challenge you. I can say that for a fact. We all love our country, and there are times that we must show love for country by volunteering. Liberia will not become a better country if we only look up to what is inside for me. We must teach civic responsibility to the young generation. If the city is dirty, there are ways that we can bring young people volunteer to clean up the city. And then based on their civil duty to the country, if they want to find position in government, we can begin to look at their sacrifices they made and be able to bring them into government service, because government is about providing goods and services and not for profit making. I listened to my brother and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I could be wrong. I could be wrong, misunderstanding him. And I still give you that open opportunity.
About how we can represent ourselves as a country, which is very critical. How we can build quick confidence that people in the international community can be able to see that at least we seem to be on a positive trajectory. The support is out there with the right articulation, with the right presentation, with the right vision. Our country is able to get back on its feet in a very positive way, better than anything in the last 12 years, or probably the last 20-something years, in a way that will be unbelievable. We are 4,500 people. We have 43,000 square miles of rich mineral, both surface and ground, available to us that can be exploited in a positive way, in a sustainable manner. We have people, we have resources, both in Liberia that needs to be tapped into and in diaspora. And it's just critical that we identify those resources and put them in, real productive capacity, because it's necessary. Well, 4 million, 4.3, 4.5 we are somewhere there. You know, there's a joke that Liberians are like guinea pigs. We can born plenty. And we got some people. I got a friend who's really adding to the population. He got 3 babies coming very soon. So grandpa or babies, that's what it looks like. But no, on a real note, you know, there's a lot of potential for us as a country, as a people. It's about people finding their niche, trying to be a part of positive development. What you coming with 9.6 million? I don't know what you're talking about, man. You know, trying to be a part of the development effort. Believe it or not, we can have a very exciting time trying to build on what we have now. You know, from the agricultural perspective, you know, land is available. We just need, Mr. Swari, I'm very tired. I need to go rest, but I just had to say that thank you for wishing my daughter a speedy recovery. Hey, dear sister, what kind of pray with our kids? What happened with your son? I hope your son is fine. But the key here is to be committed to development. That's what we need. We need our public officials. I play CDC song in my intro because my name was in the song. That's why. We have to be excited about this opportunity to rebuild. People have to get on board. Now, supporting the development process doesn't necessarily mean you are supporting a CDC government. There's a difference. You can support the development process and still be able to point out any flaws that we may have. But the point is, as a country, we need to come together and focus on how we can develop. We need some significant mindset changes, our approach to issues, the way we receive each other, the kind of approach we have with each other. How can we develop that mindset that, once it's Liberian, I love it. So we got to be able to connect, and especially those who have the exposure, those who have the experience. You have to be able to. Please, nobody call me. Please, nobody call me. Let me try to, finish what I'm doing here. So like I said, the whole principle of each one teach one. And for those who have the bandwidth, they can teach several. Is this the Ray Wilson who was just appointed as the president at Tubman College? If that's you, Stephen, Ray Wilson, congratulations. I got a good review about you, and we expect a lot from you at Tubman College. So that's wonderful. Getting back to the point, Olu, the expertise is there. It's just about how can we integrate those people with the abilities to do it. Those who can't, they should understand and seek assistance. Those who have the ability, they should not look down on those who are less capable or may have the titles. It's not about titles, it's about action at this point. We need development. We need movement in our development needle. We need people who can contribute to step up. Whether you are called upon, with an appointment or not, you should be ready. You should be ready to help. And I'm so excited for people like Sam Tukpa, Cotto Williams, and other people who are just willing to give their time. No, Rosalie, I don't need congratulations. We all need to congratulate ourselves at the end of the day when we put in our effort and we can make a difference. There are multiple ways to make a difference in Liberia, and it's not by, congratulations upon an appointment. So let's not focus on this whole appointment thing, because an appointment doesn't define you. There are just numerous opportunities in nearly every sector in Liberia, and especially if we can get government-backed policies that can enable greater Liberianization. Okay. Thank you, Stephen. Greater Liberianization, greater, support. In the call, he's still calling me. Greater support to our business people. Greater support to those who have some ideas. this mindset that has been built, that people bring the ideas and other people co-opt the ideas and try to, implement it when they really don't have the ability. So if somebody bring an idea to you, as an individual, don't try to steal that idea. Try to see how you can work with that person to implement the idea, because an idea is an idea, but all the elements within that idea would not be presented in a concept paper or even in a proposal. All the ideas will not be there. So there are certain parts of that stuff that you need somebody with the experience and the knowledge to be able to help you implement. So let's try to start to build confidence in each other as business people and work together. Daniel, don't interrupt my live chat. Just listen. Initially, I was discussing my situation with my daughter, the accident, my appreciation to all of you who are expressing, your concern, your love and everything, and wishing her well. So that part is over now. I'm just talking about, in general, our approach to each other, our approach to the success of a CDC government, which is ultimately a success for Liberia. It doesn't mean that you're supporting the CDC. No, I say don't try to steal, not see. Yeah, see it, but don't try to steal it, because that has been typical. We have had a lot of complaints of people in government. You present proposals to them, and sometimes they will take the proposal and give it to somebody else. Those kind of habits, those kind of pirating habits, those kind of bush league habits. We need to get away from them. We need to be able to let people who have the vision and capability exercise those things and try to be successful with it. So we need a lot of things when it comes to mindset change. Again, the way we interact with each other, the way we think. Most times somebody bring an idea, the first thing is a negative disposition to good ideas. It will not work. It will not work. Instead of, this thing looks like it's possible, but maybe you need to enhance it this way or you need to enhance it this other way. So building that mindset of collaboration where we engage each other, we entertain the ideas, we try to vet them, and we try to see how, they can work or how we can work together to implement them. So it's just very important that we build some collaborative partnerships as we move ahead. The opportunities are many. I know many of us don't have that initial capital to do some of the things we want to do, but if we build partnerships, if we can, start to build confidence in each other as Liberian business people and Liberian entrepreneurs, it's possible for us to be able to compete against some of these things. Let's take the rice sector, for example. It's an overbearing monopoly. The cost of rice is overbearing for our Liberian people. The cost of rice is prohibitive, but yet we have to eat rice because we are so conditioned and ingrained, and we have not over the years diversified our diet. So we need to really work on how can we ease the burden of purchasing rice for our people. And part of that has to come with government policy. Another part of that has to come with more Liberians willing to step up and challenge the status quo in terms of rice importation. And the profit is huge. Right now is gouging profit. They are over profiteering. But if we can enter that market as, committed Liberian entrepreneurs who are willing to work together, who are willing to put pressure on government to be able to ease the restrictions, behind getting IPs or whatever they are to import rice, and open the market in the short term while we work on how we can build our agricultural production of rice, the kind of rice our people like, to make it more, much cheaper for us to be able to afford it and palatable to our people. Yeah, Mr. Azango, you're right. Government needs to break up that cartel. It is a cartel. It is a monopoly on rice. And Daniel, I totally agree with you. We need to grow rice in a very, very, very urgent way in order to be able to get to the point of even exporting rice. Rice is needed all over. So, yeah. Yeah, Randy, sometimes I know you get upset and everything like that, but there's no need to be upset. We are positive people. Oh, my sister Amanda, how are you? Wonderful to see you. There are so many good people who support me, help me, you know, sometimes I'm negligent in trying to reach out to you all, to call you individually, but just know that the love is strong, the love is there. You are family, you always be family. One of my little sisters called me today and read me the riot act, but at the end of the day, she still says she understood I've been busy. Oh, my own classmate, Jackie Jones. Jackie, how are you? Hope all is well. But right now we're trying to talk about mindset change. So, you know, that's one area where we can make a difference. And, you know, I mentioned a port before. We need to lift some of the restrictions in the port. We need to make it Liberian friendly. These folks, the Lebanese folks, they have the opportunity to burn their warehouse to get their stuff in there and sometimes even sneak it out. They have the opportunity to do volume import compared with a small Liberian businessman that may bring one container, and it takes him nearly 2-3 months to get that container out with the extra storage charge and everything. So those kind of restrictions, some kind of way, we have to lift them. Lastly, what can I hope? I don't need hope. I'm fine. I'm a positive person. There's so many opportunities out there. It's not government job is the only opportunity. We are here. Yeah, I mean, you know, when our realization set in, you know, maybe we are still willing to help, though. We'll be behind the scenes supporting many of our young comrades who are there. They are enthusiastic to get things done. You know, yes, some people may frown on them in terms of, oh, they don't deserve the appointment, everything. But, you know, you got to recognize many of those young people lay their life on the line. They put their education on the side in order for them to, you know, make our revolution to be successful. So, you know, let's appreciate them. Let's try to mentor them. Let's try to support them. And they can be very successful. So some of the other mindset, you know, change that we talk about, it's just us understanding, you know, what it is to be patriotic to our country. You know, we lose a lot in terms of not being patriotic, in not understanding what our civic duty is to, you know, Mama Liberia. How can we make a difference individually? How can we model behavior that other people can emulate, you know? So those are all things that help at the granular level to be able to elevate us to the 30,000 foot level where we can do some things as a people, you know, from simple trash can in your neighborhood so people don't just throw, you know, the water bag, the sack. And that was one of my pet peeves in Riverside, and people used to laugh at me. But I would not drink water from the sack and throw the sack down. I would carry that sack with me if I got to put it in my pocket or something until I could find a garbage can or something to put it in. And eventually I started demanding that nobody throw sack around my yard, you know, or in the house, just drink it and throw it out. So it's about reinforcing certain positive behaviors for our people. We are very quick learners. We are very quick learners. You know, so it's very important that, you know, we all start to model behavior that other people can emulate. Another major behavior is conflict resolution, how we approach, you know, diversity of thought, or, you know, how we approach dealing with somebody who gets emotional about something. You know, it's important sometimes that we got to demonstrate restraint and patience because everybody don't have the same level of tolerance. And sometimes, even on Facebook, people don't know the relationship of people, and sometimes people come and just take trouble. So sometimes that patience to understand and see how things develop, or to see, manager, move from here, man. See how things develop before they take a side or they take, you know, a drastic response. Because, like, sometimes I joke with my friends, especially my friends who are very cool with me, who I know will not be offended by, you know, something I say to them. But somebody else will come and take their trouble and think that, you know, they're doing the right thing. I'm saying the wrong thing. And I say, look, I'm just joking. So if we can just be able to minimize and not escalate a lot of times, a lot of the negative things that happen on Facebook may not happen. You know, we know some people are on edge, and that speaks to our whole situation with the war, where now many of the people who are demonstrating hostile behavior, they were not in the war, especially the young people, But because there was no rehabilitation for many of those parents and people, I will come to that English thing lastly. There was no, rehabilitation for many of those parents, no real reintegration. They're handing those stories down to their children, and it's impacting those children, So as long as we can try to minimize the differences between and try to look for similarities, try to help each other in ways that we normally don't do. Even sometimes just a friendly, some people got nobody to smile with them all day. Nobody to smile with them all day. So sometimes just breaking a smile for another person can make a difference. So let's try. I know there's the saying, our people are ungrateful. You getting a ride, they will steal something from your car. You do this for them, they will do something to you. But let's move away from some of those negative thoughts and see how, we can be helpful to each other. Yeah, lastly, let's face it, you're right. Our entire country is traumatized, and some people didn't have to be in a war. That's why people don't understand. You don't have to be in a war to have that post-traumatic syndrome. It can be passed on to you, from other people. And lastly, your point is correct. Even people in the West, because we receive all those stories. There were family members who went through some difficulties during the war, or people who were here in the U.S., or in the West, or anywhere in the diaspora, whose families were killed. And people who left during the war, who experienced some negative things and came to the West. They were not de-traumatized. They were not rehabilitated. So some of those things are still there. Well, my wedding ring, it's on the wrong finger. What you behind a ring for, Tamerlane? So, Fred, stop lying. You make people smile. You don't need people to smile with you. You make them smile. But maybe you're right. Maybe that's another thing. It's possible nobody smiles with you. But you see, you got me smiling now because you said nobody can smile with you. But you're a wonderful guy. You can entertain people. No, Francine, the one thing I would say to you, presidential appointments are privilege. It's not a right. Me being a member of the CDC or diehard, somebody who has supported, doesn't give me a right to a job. The decision to appoint is a constitutional right of the president. So let's put that aside about appointment. There's just so many other ways I can contribute to the development of Liberia. It's not through a job. So, I just hope you understand it. But this discussion is more about how can we work together? How can we sometimes pool our resources? How can we change our disposition towards each other? How can we change mindsets about some of the things that, we do? So, Sewala, that's what a lot of people say. The tariff, the whole process at the port probably needs to be refined. So we need to look at it. We need to work on it. But let me just take a short diversion and deal with this whole correcting English situation that Lassie was talking about. Lastly, it's just a pet peeve of mine. Growing up, my dad, tried for us to speak proper English, for us to write proper English, and I grew up that way. Unfortunately for us, the war happened, and a significant number of our students did not learn from a book or from a pamphlet, being able to see things in print. Most of them learned from what the teacher was pronouncing. And we all know our pronunciation is not the most phonetically inclined. So when that happened, people are learning by rote, and people are not able to regurgitate the correct thing, but the spelling by what they hear. And we can see all of that on Facebook. So I took it upon myself over time to make some corrections. It were not personal attacks. I must admit, though, when it was Roasting most schools. The schools were closed for a while too, and then when it reopened, they didn't have the available resources. So a lot of schools went through that experience. And even right now, today, you go to a place like River Says, you go to a place like River G,
certain places remote from Monrovia. They don't have materials. They don't even have seats to sit on, Roseline. In terms of the school system, let's not divert to that. It's really, really a mess. What Madam Salif said, a mess is really a mess. And then, what's his name, came and made it much more of a mess, Werner. It was a useless exercise to go with the breach model and our PPP. It set back our education system. So let's not discuss education for now. Let's go back to what we're just talking about, the lack of materials and trying to correct people. I don't try to correct individuals per se, because a lot of librarians cannot handle correction. That's another mindset we have to change. We don't know everything. We have to embrace correction, and be able to see that if somebody's telling you the right thing, try to apply the right thing. We're not doing political talk here. President taking civil servant money to pay religious advisors. I don't know that religious advisor is an appointed position, so that's another discussion. But anyway, so in order for us to be able to understand some of these things, I was putting stuff on my page, making a correction, especially for the homonyms, the words that sound the same, the phonetic similarity to different words. It caused a lot of errors, and people joking around with I and R, but people are really making mistakes. They're not joking. And there are so many of these errors that, happen. Interesting question. Okay, we'll get to that. When, so many people are making these errors. So when you see these errors consistently, and people still trying to write Libanics, Liberian, phonics or Liberian English, when they don't even have the fundamentals, you can't happen. That's why I had a problem with my kids. I never allowed them, to write the slang talk that in the street and stuff like that. You don't even know the basis of English. You don't even fully understand your sentence verb agreement, and then you want to write, Ebonics. No, you can't do that. You got to write properly, even in text. I don't let them do that. Now they're grown now. They're 16, 17, 18, men and women, so they can do what they want to do. There you go. Which George man can cuss? George Famole? All right. So, yeah, Olu, you can take it. You're a mature man, so I did correct you personally. That's what I'm saying. Friends who I felt could take it, I would do that. But other people, I would just kind of write it up and put it on my screen. Okay? But let me just confess here and be honest. I also use it as a political intervention tool back when there were real heated arguments going on Facebook, and especially with the whole education thing against George Weah. So I use it to show that people who claimed they were so educated were limited in certain ways, and they used to make them mad. But that's part of the political process. So it's not a personal thing with those who I was correcting. There were many times I was corrected myself. I embrace correction because I recognize that I don't know everything. It's always good to learn. We always need to improve anything we do. So I accept corrections. When the corrector is not correct, then I correct the corrector. But most times the people, correct me, not most times, all times, they correct me properly. I accept the correction and move on, because I have never claimed infallibility. I'm a human being. I can make mistakes. Anybody out there can make mistakes. So that's how it is. But somebody was asking a wonderful question here, Francine. She said, how can we contribute to Liberia in the public or private sector when persons in charge of regulations may not be competent or lack tactful to welcome business or to make it easier for others? Well, I think it has to start from the top, Francine. I think the president has to establish, like he said, Liberia is open for business. Liberia should be very, very open for business for Liberians. And, we should start to create those clear parameters that, provide the incentives for Liberians to be able to invest, to be able to do business, to make business easy. We know today that Liberia, as much as we have tried to refine our processes, we're still not at the highest level of ease of business, you know, in the region or in the continent or even in the world. So, oh my God, you know, the amount of talks I'm receiving, you know, it's just ridiculous, and people need to, you know, do away with them. It's funny. But anyway, if somebody inboxing me something funny, Tomalin, stop making me laugh. So yeah, so Florence, Francine, we need to help our regulators, like you said. You know, to be honest, a lot of people in government, I don't know. For example, you know, if somebody is given the responsibility, you know, of a particular MAC, ministry, agency, commission, authority, you know, public corporation, whatever. I mean, for me, in my mindset, the first thing that individual needs to do is to read the law that created that particular entity and be able to understand what that entity is about. What are the responsibilities? Because the law can be broad. Sometimes some people don't even know the powers that exist, or the range or the domain of what the responsibility is. So part of that is sometimes educating, Francine, because our people need that. We need that support. We need that effort. We need that, you know, mentoring. And sometimes, yeah, it can be hostile because you're trying to establish a business, or you're trying to do something beyond what that person, you know, mindset is, or what the scope of their knowledge is. Oh, you can do that. But when in actuality, you can do it. So to the extent that you can maybe educate that person or convince them of exercising any kind of hostility, that would be good. So let me add on my man Victor Yinka. He wants to be my guest. He has asked, and I will approve. Professor Yinka.
What's up, B-Bro? What's going on?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. We can't complain. We can't complain at all.
Okay.
How yourself?
Well, right now I'm talking about mindset and some of the behaviors that we as Liberians need to change to be able to, you know, really pursue our development efforts, be able to work together better, and be able to model behavior that other people can emulate and be able to be better persons themselves, you know. So if you want to weigh in, it would be wonderful for you to come in and talk about some of those things.
You know, the truth is, man, you've been a gem. You've been a gem to the better Liberia. You know, from exile, your writings, your ideas, they've been something rare in our dispensation. And I have challenged you multiple times. I have challenged you. I know people say, you know, it's globalization, and with the invention of the internet, you have the war in your palm. But it's very hard to effect change from this distance. And there's a lot of rumors, there's a lot of talk circulating about your absence from the new government that's forming on the horizon. And you know, I want to urge you.
I'm glad you said forming. It's forming.
Yeah. You know what? People don't have. Somebody called me and said why your name hasn't popped up. And you know, I said there's always two sides to the story, and we haven't heard from Big Brother Isaac Vibe. We don't know what you were demanding. We don't know what you're you know, honestly, I should have this talk with you off record. But I decided to put you on the spot. I want you to address, you know, what's going on. I don't want you breaking any party protocols. I don't want you breaking any party protocols. But just tell the people as much as you can without injuring the party. Because
the party is fine.
You are vital to the new Liberia.
The party is fine. And I'm glad you said, you know, forming. Because in any kind of development effort, you know, or most development effort, they got like 4 stages, and you can add 1 or 2 more based on what your orientation is when it comes to, you know, any kind of organizational development. But you got forming, you got storming, you got norming, and then you got performing. So we're in the formative stages of our government. So when you're forming something, sometimes, you know how God made Baboon versus how God made you versus how
Don't
God
bring the
made
garbage inside that.
Okay. You see? So that formation can come in so many different ways. There's challenges in terms of identifying talent, in terms of placing people. There could be misalignment and all that other kind of stuff. So we are in the formative stages of this government, and a lot of things are coming at people from different areas. Very soon we'll be in that stage where it's like storming, trying to sort itself out, trying to get the kinks. What areas are not working, where there's no collaboration, where the mixture of staff is just not going to work. The deputy minister has no respect for the minister. The assistant minister think the president appointed him, so he ain't got to honor the leadership of the minister. So all those things will happen. Then there will be some normality that will come in. And then once things get a little normal, they will start to perform.
Here's my question.
So we can't expect.
Here's my question. Is Isaac
Sure.
Vad took? And here's my question. And I should have called you on your private line to ask this question. But here's my question: Is Isaac Vad took by demanding a somewhat extravagant salary? Is your demand?
Wow.
because we are suspecting.
No.
What people are suspecting now, Isaac is demanding an extravagant salary that the government cannot meet. That's why his name hasn't been included on XYZ list. Not that I'm saying that his name will not be included, but I'm saying that up to now, your name has not been included because the government cannot afford to pay for the kind of service that you will provide. Is that what's happening?
No, man.
People
are wrong with that.
Are you pro-poor?
I'm very pro-poor. I have proposed maximizing government salaries at $7,000 for ministers, whatever, $7,000. At least the executive can pass an executive order and do that cap and then work on the legislature and the judiciary. It's possible, But no, I won't make that kind of demand. I mean, why? Why would I feel like I'm so
why
special?
not? You value it. You worth it.
Well, the reality is for most people who actually work for government, do work, government can pay them. Sometimes it's a labor of love. It's wanting to implement certain policies. It wanting to leave a legacy. It wanting to make a difference. But for those who really come into government and work, for the demand that government work actually is supposed to put on you, especially in a country like Liberia, where we have a lot of deficit in a lot of different areas, and where, being a manager, you're not only focusing on your people's skills or on the issue at hand, but you got to be hands-on in getting into the implementation process, getting the derivation of politics or the elaboration of politics, being able to be also somebody who articulate the vision of where you stand, and be able to mentor and bring up the people you work with. So there's so much diversity to being a leader in the kind of environment we are in, where there are a lot of things that are lacking that need to be put in place.
And lastly, before I leave you, we in the agnostic blog, in the atheist blog, we are very happy for the amount of research and development that went into the safety of the production of the Lexus sedan that was responsible.
You following George Famuleh. I also have to say thank you to God. I appreciate
that was responsible for the
engineering
safety,
capabilities,
the safety of little Natalie. We are happy that she is safe and maybe some sort of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs and some PMEDs. Will provide.
See that your medical people got all the knowledge.
We'll provide her some comfort, but that came from the research and development that went into Lexus. So it will be very frustrating for you to discredit the engineer at Lexus and award it to
I told him I agree with George. I told him thank you and everything for him talking about those people who created a car that could absorb that hit.
Yeah.
And airbag deploy and not even punch my daughter, and so it was.
We're happy, man. We're very happy that this family.
I'm telling you, I was just overly excited last night after leaving the accident scene to go and see her in the condition.
Yeah,
it was just a wonderful feeling.
I know she's a
So we say
I know
thank
she's
you.
a good kid, and the rest of the kids, I know they're all good kids, especially if they're following the example of their parents. So tell them to keep it up, to not be afraid. You know, these things happen. So that's my last word before I bid you farewell. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All
All right, Rosalie, let me deal with Michael. I think Michael had asked a question before, why the CDC, why I went to the CDC. There were several reasons why I went to join the CDC. In 2006, when Ellen first came to power, Madam Salif, went on a trip. And let me just give some context here. Back, I think in like 2003, before they went to the Comprehensive Peace Agreement situation, Madam Salif had come on a tour for DC. Did you actually give the order for them to demolish Monrovia? And she got really pissed off. She was upset, angry. So she didn't really answer, and she went on a tirade, diverting from the actual topic, and then eventually she came around. But I had no interest or no desire for Madam Salif to lead our country. I felt, she wasn't the one. She's a progenitor of the war. She, supported the rebels. She introduced and justified child rebels, at the U.S. legislature. So I was not about her being our president. But in 2006, when she went on a trip and came back and provided a refund to the Treasury, I was actually impressed with her. I praised Madam Salif. At that time, we had a forum called the Coalition of Concerned Liberians, where we had some heated debates and some vulgarities and profanities, flew all over the place as well. Thank God we have moved from that stage, where Facebook, we don't operate at that level. But, I was an advocate. I was pushing for Madam Salif. I said, wonderful. This is somebody who can clean up, because I know corruption is the primary inhibitor of development. And, I was so impressed. But then a few months later, they were, transferring money from Madam Salif, computer, Mr. Knuckles was doing his thing, and then the whole corruption stuff started leaking out and everything. And I just got disappointed that she would do that. But I was not a member of the CDC at the time. And I did not join the CDC until like November 2009, when I came to Liberia to assess and look on the ground. And when I saw the conditions, I saw the level of impunity, I saw the elitism, this stuff that was supposed to be of the past, where I expected at least the people should, try to work with, those people in power should try to work with the everyday people. That's when I saw the need for me to be a part of something different. At the same time, my friends, Dwalo Beslow and James Bestman were harassing me to join the CDC. So eventually, I joined the CDC at that point, and, I joined as a regular partisan, and I gradually rose up the ranks within CDC USA, from financial secretary to deputy chairman for operations, deputy chairman for administration, and then eventually chairman. So that's the reason why I went to the CDC, because I felt, I'm a grassroots person myself. I'm from extreme poverty myself. The formation of what you see today is not what it was way back growing up. And, I didn't forget my roots. So I had to be connected. So I was with the CDC, and yes, a lot of people felt, especially my friends. I mean, for me to convince most of my peers, that intellectual class, that those people who are doing very well in the United States, they did not want to be with me with the CDC, but I felt convinced that the CDC was the mechanism through which the everyday Liberian can get that little recognition, can get that little opportunity to be able to have an affordable life. That's why I stay with the CDC. I still stay with the CDC, because there's so much opportunity there for people. It's not just about me. It's not just about a job, because we have won the elections. No, it's not about that. It's about how can we make a difference for people, a collective difference. How can we prove improve, the life of people? How can we provide solutions for the problems that we have? It's not like our problems are overly unique. They have happened other places in the world before, and people have been, have found solutions. We just need to customize our solutions. We just need to focus on how even we engage the international community. Some of the stuff they gave us, we don't want it. We shouldn't take it. They don't benefit us. So we need to have a more aggressive posture towards, borrowing, towards asking for money. And, in terms of our own development, we shouldn't be tolerant of some of the nonsense that goes on. If somebody can, handle the position given them, replace them. Take, for example, the situation with Mary Bro. She had been at GSA. She should know, basically, close her eyes and be able to tell us the cars that in her pool of cars, the different allocations to different government agencies, how those cars are purchased, X, Y, Z. But at the end of the day, within the transition, she was not able to maintain those records. She was not able to provide adequate information on the whereabouts of all the different vehicles. No. So I would not have appointed a commission. I would have fired Mary Brew and put somebody competent in who can handle that responsibility. So it's just about, I believe we can't be tolerant with incompetence. We have to move the needle. We have to pressure people. We have to demand performance management and ensure that, what you have, your mandate as you understand it, and you're able to do the work. So Roslyn is asking, if you are offered a position in this government, will you accept it? Well, Roslyn, we are servants for our people. We always want to do work, whether it's an appointed work or whether it's our own personal effort that we are pushing. And we are always looking out for the best interest of, Liberia. Everybody we meet on an individual basis or in a group basis. We raise the issue of Liberia, the challenges we are facing, and the potential partnership that we can get to make things happen. So I can emphatically say, regardless of the position offered, I would just be willing to take it because there's a lot of opportunities in the private sector in Liberia, from the agricultural sector to the mining sector, to the consulting sector. I can easily do a lot of consulting on governance and business advisory. I can do a lot of consulting on project management. I can just even do a lot of consulting with foreigners coming in to do business, how to do better business in Liberia, how to accelerate their business. So the opportunities are many in terms of what to do. The transportation sector is open, really for people to make some money there if they want to do the investment. The construction, I can partner with people in terms of managing project from a construction perspective. So the opportunities are many. We are not limited. Luckily for us, we're able to have a decent education. We're able to have the experience in corporate America and work at a high level and be able to, interact with CEOs and people of, high relevance in the U.S. And we have friends who have, similarly achieved in a huge way, who would be interested in partnering, in certain respects. And there are even some young people that I've come across. I mean, really, really progressive and entrepreneurial young people who are willing to, partner with me, work with me to do certain things. So the options are many. They're not limited. So, it all depends on what comes across. No, I don't think that the decision making in the process involving appointments is a reflection of poor, limited leadership skills. Let's be honest. Nobody who's president knows everybody. Look, Salome, you are banned from making one more word over here. The voice, pitch, and mannerisms on social media. Yeah, right. You won't go correct everybody in terms of how to move their hand, how to move their left foot, and how to speak. Stop, man. But anyway, so in terms of the decision making, there's a lot of input from different angles to different positions. So let's be honest, even Madam Salif or before her, any other president, they didn't know every qualified Liberian, to place them. So sometimes the vetting process may be wanting, or there may be other things that may happen. There may be certain, political commitments that may have to be met that would, interfere with a pure competitive vetting process. So, we have to understand that this is politics. It's, sometimes quid pro quo. It's not just about the most excellent or most qualified person. So, we have to deal with some of that. So I won't put, it was not like that, though. Really, it was not like that. Two of the people in the diaspora, they should understand, they can
So some of the professional level that you saw in me. Because
two of the people in the diaspora, they should understand, they can be condescending to, people on the ground. They can feel like they know it all, Oh, Salome, you want me to talk about where the gray hair on you, man? Leave me alone. I Nally man. Nally love me the way I am. You don't got nothing to do with anything on me. Stop. Yeah. So, those are some of the ways that the people in the diaspora can assist. And this mindset that you have to be on the ground before you can work, it needs to change. People don't have to be on the ground. There are ways that we can partner. There are many people, unfortunately, because of other people that have done some negative things, people don't trust people. But there are many young people on the ground. There are many young people on the ground, or I don't want to just say limit it to young, but there are many people on the ground who have integrity, who can be partners in businesses. There are some people here in the U.S., in the diaspora, who, want to invest, want to do certain things, but they don't feel that level of comfort that they can trust people to do business. And until we can build up that ability to work with each other and be able to do, business together as, entrepreneurs, where we really respect the partnership and we'll try to do the right things, it will be difficult. So, those are ways that the people in the diaspora and the people on the ground can work together. Also, we have a lot of professionals, especially medical professionals. If we can set up an operation where there's a rotation of Liberian professional, medical professional in the diaspora can come, and then this will require us to have, a system in place, or healthcare system that documents treatment patterns, that document the history of any one patient, or people who are on a special kind of treatment, that when one doctor transitions back to the U.S. and another is coming in, the ability to pick up that patient's file and just continue the protocol of care, or understand what's going on and be able to, add their own professional expertise to it. It should be continuous. It shouldn't be a discontinuous process. So building systems that will allow people, even before they come, to be able to access those records and refresh themselves. And then also, we have tried to pass a Privacy Act before. I believe, Patients' Right Bill. Dr. Zomo and I, we did the draft of the Patients' Rights Bill. I believe we sent it to our Carlos Gray, and he tried to push it, but I don't think anything ever came of it. So those kind of partnerships where people in the diaspora can pinpoint certain even legislation and talk to maybe the lawmaker from the county and say, look, we need something here on agricultural reform. We can do the first draft. You can review it, give us input and stuff. Bam. Similarly, when Gabriel Yinkan was head of the I believe the Energy Committee in the House, I managed to convince Dr. Lawrence Jones to support that effort in terms of the evolving energy law, electricity law, But, Gabriel is my friend, but he disappeared from us as we're having those discussions. So, it's all about people who need the help, people on the ground, being able to consistently work and be a partner with the expertise that are in the diaspora. And that will work for us in Liberia to be able to, no, Emmanuel Savage, no appointment bearing my name right now. Let me see who's here. Okay, Randy. Let's see what Randy got to say. Randy got a little bit of bitterness with all this employment and all this stuff. So, it's connecting. Let's see what he got to say. Yeah, Randy, what's up?
Yes, thank you. I've been listening to you for quite a time now, and I was not intending getting on the show because I know that you were trying to express your thanks and appreciation to all those who at least send our greetings to the incident regarding your daughter. So let me use that opportunity as well. You know, Isaac, you have been very instrumental in me coming onto the CDC. And I believe you did that because of some of the professional level that you saw in me. Because from the start, I was not too comfortable to start with the CDC because I didn't understand the culture of the CDC. But I have gone through the fabric now, the nucleus of the CDC, and some of the initial suggestions that I proposed to the CDC is coming to fruition because some of them rejected it, whether it was based on what you described as revolutionary credentials. We got to understand that whatever come out of the CDC administration, sorry for that, we on the other hand are getting that hit. All right, we on the other hand are getting that hit. No matter what happened, take for example today, the president went out to Nigeria and is asking for 6,000 plus teachers. You know how many inbox